A high scream resounded in the sky. The urgent sea white spirit python's giant body suddenly leapt. The waves on its body fiercely charged into the sky, and it spiraled in the air, already diving down, forming a frightening shock wave. The attack had not yet arrived when the strong wind pressure already blew the group's hairs into a flutter. The sand and stones on the ground were blown into rolling in all directions. The swift and severe whistle shook the eardrums of the surrounding people. The flying sword Langya's cloud-mark meridians interweaved. Green light converged, and a green python seemed to appear around Su Xing's body. The urgent sea white spirit python indignantly roared. Its body continued to depend on water to grow, endlessly firing jets of water. The next moment, Su Xing already shot towards the urgent sea white spirit python together with the fluttering Langya. That black figure flit past the urgent sea white spirit python's body through a gap, shuttling past its storm-like attack, just like a quick sea swallow. Light rays as bright as snow drew open a giant circle in the air, suddenly cutting open the mist. The urgent sea white spirit python's entire body writhed. That mist on its body then blossomed, and 2 water dragons grew out of its water body. The huge water dragons seemed to rip apart the valley, bringing a great rain down that filled the skies. As far as the eye could see, the entire valley shuddered under the urgent sea white spirit python's attack. Crying, the unstoppable squall mixed with the attack of the frantic waves, like a mountain's imposing image. The urgent sea white spirit python occupied the air above just like this, bellowing down at them from above. A thunder roll-like rumble. The water dragon once again bubbled forth with countless water spouts. More than 1,000 water meteors broke out from the surface of its extended wings, scuttling across the sky like fireworks. Afterwards, they uniformly turned about, shooting towards the ground like a volley of arrows. Confronting a storm of water meteors filling the skies that were frantically pouncing down from above, at this moment, they could sense the enormous pressure. Fuck, this is the white stripe in the waves Zhang Shun's star beast. It was very ferocious. Su Xing knew that evil smiting Hall's star beasts were far from a genuine peak, after all, they were one in body with star generals. Their strength somewhat dwindled, but even like this they were seriously formidable. No wonder Liangshan continent were somewhat scared at the mere mention when discussing complete star generals. Possessing such powerful star beasts for protection and assistance, even supervoid stage cultivators would need to carefully deliberate. Su Xing raised both hands. Magic clouds and purple clouds gradually rose. Urging the star energy in his whole body, the purple cloud true star slammed head-on into the water meteors. Careful! It is the white spirit python's urgent light magic. Zhang Yuqi yelled. Her words had just dropped when in the next instant, the urgent sea white spirit python's sharp horns suddenly fired a slim but matchlessly dazzling white line, wandering everywhere. The blindly attacking waves were completely different. This white line of light in midair drew a dazzling trajectory, splitting the space in half, shooting perfectly straight towards Su Xing. Langya simultaneously formed a shield. Clear light and white light knocked against one another. Unable to pierce through the 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo, the countless watery droplets burst open under the collision of 2 types of power, violently raising a cold wind. The urgent sea white spirit python saw this, and its urgent light beam once again fired. Several dozen white lights endlessly enveloped Su Xing. The Shi Yuan and Zhang Yuqi to the side were targets as well. The thief star that completely lacked martial force was astonished. Just as Shi Yuan was about to summon the Nirvana Ice Chief's puppet to go block, at this time, Su Xing escaped to her front. The flying swords linked into a phantom, breaking the entirety of the incoming white lights. Su Xing, you won't go worry about her? Shi Yuan looked at the Zhang Yuqi strenuously supporting herself, not knowing that the white stripe in the waves charging some ability could only use a water screen to barely block. Originally, she could depend on Su Xing's flying swords to avert danger. Su Xing currently protecting Shi Yuan thus made her unable to persist. You are my wifey, and she is not. Su Xing matter-of-factly said. Shi Yuan was very happy to hear this, yet she still stuck out her tongue, Still, we'd better help that elder sister, so as to avoid her saying bad things about Su Xing behind your back." The girl smiled. Her figure hid, for she used wind-chasing shadow hiding to thoroughly erase her presence. Roar! The urgent sea white spirit python was just like a white blade directly pouncing towards Zhang Yuqi. Facing the fiercely rushing white spirit python, the white stripe in the waves had the intent to retreat when just at this moment, 12 blue-green flying swords fell before her eyes, allowing Zhang Yuqi to heave a sigh of relief from her heart and concentrate on chanting the final incantation. Su Xing beckoned with his hand, and the 12 Langia were like an enormous curtain wall. The urgent sea white spirit python slammed with a rumbling boom. The life-cast flying swords and the cultivator were one in body. This tackle also shook Su Xing's organ into seemingly flipping upside down. Qi and blood endlessly rolled in his throat. How much longer? Su Xing struck several hand seals. Langia incessantly slashed, tenaciously not allowing the urgent sea white spirit python to advance one bit. "Stand aside!" Zhang Yuqi shouted. When Su Xing heard, he immediately dodged. At the same time, Langia scattered like birds. The urgent sea white spirit python went to swallow Zhang Yuqi. The white stripe in the waves pointed at the urgent sea white spirit python. A blue vortex appeared on the white water mirror heart. This whirlpool continuously enlarged, gradually revealing itself from the dragon pearl on the ring, becoming several zhang in size. A powerful pulling force immediately fixed the urgent sea white python in midair. A hurricane wreaked havoc, enveloping the entire valley. When it covered the urgent sea white spirit python, that water screen on its body was rolled into the vortex. The urgent sea white spirit python spared no effort in its struggle, yet it was no use. This was the white stripe in the waves' dark rank star magic, all rivers reach seas. Su Xing hastily controlled the flying swords to protect himself, finding that Yuan'er at this time could not bear Zhang Shun's star magic either, her stealth having been broken. Su Xing escaped to her side and embraced her. "Do you want to enter the star nest?" Shi Yuan shook her head, her gaze fixed on Zhang Yuqi. "So incredible. Worthy of a heavenly star," Su Xing said. N. The water screen was stripped from the urgent sea white spirit python's body. As if its power had been pulled clean off by all rivers reach seas, gradually exposing its true body. Astonishingly, it was a pure white, scaleless serpentine python beast with a flowing body and a single horn. A pair of blue eyes twinkled with light, and its several dozen zhang long body pervaded with a mysterious watery light. It seemed that this made the enormous white python look as if it was swimming in the Sa. In several breaths' time, Zhang Yuqi's all rivers reach seas stripped away all of the urgent sea white spirit python's water screen. The girl pointed, and the white water mirror heart released a gorgeous water light that suddenly enveloped the urgent sea white spirit python's body. Zhang Yuqi's forehead clearly showed a water blue star crest, currently incessantly entering the urgent sea white spirit python's snake head. Afterwards, she raised the evil smiting writ. The evil smiting writ that used every sort of material to refine became shattered pieces that entered its body. A moment later, the urgent sea white spirit python finally stopped struggling. Its whole body flashed with a blue radiance, and it retracted its malevolence. When Zhang Yuqi saw, she slightly smiled. She leapt, jumping onto the urgent sea white spirit python's body. Clearly, it was already captured. The urgent sea white spirit python swam in front of Su Xing, flicking its snake tongue, exceptionally docile. "Do you want to come up?" The two of them unceremoniously climbed onto the python's back. The urgent sea white spirit python was wingless, yet it used the blue light of its whole body to baselessly soar. "It's rather big." Su Xing sized up this urgent sea white spirit python. A cursory look would show this practically was a giant dragon. Just this length was sufficient to make people fearful. Men, they like to be big, only then are they satisfied. Zhang Yuqi mockingly said. "Su Xing, elder sister, can't you the words you say more pleasant?" Shi Yuan blurted. "You've wasted Su Xing's goodwill trying to help you." "Thanks, oh." Su Xing, you truly are an outstanding star master. No wonder little sister Yuan would do that sort of thing for you. Zhang Yuqi nodded, calmly speaking. What do you want to go do next? Su Xing asked. Of course it is to prepare for the fourth phase. Zhang Yuqi matter-of-factly said. My meaning is, now that you have obtained your star beast, could it be you are still preparing alone? Zhang Yuqi teased, could it be you have designs on Yuqi? A man like you truly cannot help but be patronizing. She turned her head, softly chuckling, just forgetting about the little sister Shi Yuan behind you. Su Xing was left at a loss for words by her. He wanted to say that he did not have restrictions on signing contracts, but just as he was on the verge of saying so, it truly seemed he would just be resentful if he did and merely swallowed it back down. If you are willing, Yuan would not mind. Su Xing seemed truthful and facetious. Don't be too greedy being a man, that will invite everyone's fury. Zhang Yuqi winked, slightly smiling. Shi Yuan was annoyed. Su Xing has several of the elder sisters that he wouldn't be greedy for you. Could it be you truly have several of the sisters? If that is true, Yuqi actually wishes to see. Su Xing remained silent. The urgent sea white spirit python spun several times. Due to using the evil smiting writ to capture star beasts, Star General could not linger here for too long. The two again chatted for a time. Su Xing learned that Zhang Yuqi continuously stayed in the Black Turtle Territory. The Black Turtle Territory was a vast land with abundant resources with numerous islands. In addition, it possessed countless treasures that had yet to be excavated, unlike the Azure Dragon territory dominated by sects standing out in great numbers. Thus, many star generals would congregate in the Black Turtle Territory. Someday, Su Xing would also need to go to this Black Turtle Territory. Because the fourth phase began in the Black Turtle Territory. Bidding farewell to this mermaid-like two-faced star general, Su Xing was not in a hurry to leave. Seldom could he be alone with Shi Yuan. Shi Yuan also was somewhat wished to continue, and the two once again went sightseeing in the Green Mountains and waters. Only when the thief star was fully satisfied did they leave Evil Smiting Hall. The activity of there just now was quite large. It seems an elder sister has obtained a star beast. Upon a green mountain, there were three girls currently stopped as they looked into the distance, at the boundless mist far away in the distance, at the mountain ranges folded over one another, a beautiful sight. The girl in the center looked down to flip through a treasure book in her hand, her hair flowing, in a state of contemplation. Beside her was a girl with a tall stature, her skin the color of wheat, her pupils demonic though she was dressed in a refined manner. Her whole body had an aura that did not allow anyone to get close. She was the black whirlwind Longkui. As living goddess of lightning Qingci spoke, a white light flashed in the air and then rapidly disappeared. Clearly, a sister obtained her star beast. Elder sister Qingci, do you truly feel those elder sisters and little sisters would be willing to come accompany you to sign a star duel covenant? This is very insane. In the Star Duel's 9th generation, elder sister Qingci unexpectedly wishes to attract several dozen sisters to attack Maiden Mountain. Wang Jingji giggled. Though Qingci did not raise her head, that tender corner of her mouth hooked with a curve, as if she was gently smiling. However, now is the third phase. I can understand that elder sister Qingci wishes to seek sisters in Evil Smiting Hall to accompany her, but they mostly would have all signed contracts. Wang Jingji regretfully pursed her lips. Your servant certainly does not feel they would be this way. Qingci closed the book, sinking into contemplation. Oh, then who is Qingci preparing to find? Is it elder sister Rong, or is it big sis Lu Junyi? Perhaps that legendary Wusong is also very good. But she would not come to Evil Smiting Hall. Wang Jingji said. Of course it is her, a little sister that plays a pivotal role in the star duels that has nevertheless been overlooked. But elder sister very much feels other sisters will follow. Qingji is not too convinced. This practically is unprecedented, a shocking matter. All rivers reach seas, let alone that what your servant wants to do is even larger than the sea. Qingci gently smiled. Though her voice was quiet, her ambitions were nevertheless big. Chao Gai sought out this palace. Currently laying open a chessboard with Wu Xinjie, the Chai Ling playing chess suddenly spoke. Why would she want to seek you out? Wu Xinjie lifted her head from the game of chess, seemingly asking yet not. And why else would she, only to discuss the past star duels, the previous overlord, oh, and your young master, Su Xing? Chai Ling absent-mindedly replied. What did she say? Wu Xinjie moved her pieces, her brow slightly wrinkled. Chai Ling seemed to smile yet not. Knowledge star, you ought to know the heavenly mystery. Actually, you ought to be the most clear that in the past star duels, Star Master's contracting 2 was already the limit, yet he has contracted 7. If this continues, the star duels will be a thing in his bag. Call out for that Maiden Mountain to endure this. What, the little Whirlwind has become Chao Gai's mouthpiece? Wu Xinjie slightly smiled. You schemed this way to make Su Xing attract sisters, you definitely knew this sort of situation would occur, but you must be clear, how can the Maiden Mountain that can make the rules have those rules be so easily toppled by someone? Anything you do would be in vain. Chai Ling subtly moved her piece, just like these pieces of ours. The horse cannot move horizontally, the soldier must not cower back, and the generals must not leave for a reason. These are the rules. If this chess is changed, is it still chess? Does the noble star feel we sisters are that Maiden Mountain's chess pieces? Chai Ling covered her mouth, her tone somewhat self-mocking. If not chess pieces, then why star duel? This time, the champion is not yet clear. And you are this convinced that he will complete this wish? Chai Ling was amazed. Perhaps in the very first 2 generations of Star Dells, there would be a sister that thought of ending the star duels, but following the passage of time, this sort of consideration was increasingly rare. Custom was a terrifying weapon, one that would make people lose sight and unable to free themselves. Liangshan continent was increasingly throwing itself into the ranks of the star duels contests. This generation even manifested the situation of the star masters of the great sects, each possessing their own prehistoric spirit treasure. And that victor's wish, Chai Ling was also very skeptical of anyone being able to endure this sort of supreme enticement. Little Whirlwind, as the noble star, you should understand much about the star duels. Xinjie has a question that she always cannot solve and wishes to ask you for guidance. Wu Xinjie twitched her lips. Chai Ling indifferently said, Speak. In the past 8 generations of star duels, other than the previous Wu Song, there should be 7 overlords at the very least, but we have never heard of their wishes. Chai Ling, do you know what they were? Wu Xinjie somewhat incomprehensibly gazed at Chai Ling. This question, this palace indeed has investigated. Chai Ling shook her head, but after ascending Maiden Mountain, they were never again seen since. As for just what happened, the past generations of Noble Star also are not clear. Perhaps they went to Star World and obtained immortality, or perhaps they freed themselves from the cycle of the star duels. Who knows? Chai Ling was not in the least concerned. Never again seen since. Chai Ling nodded. Wu Xinjie sunk into contemplation. Chai Ling felt that the knowledge star had no need to go concern herself with things that happened after victory. Since Maiden Mountain could create the rules, it was obviously above Liangshan continent. The victor could receive a wish and certainly remained in Maiden Mountain. Asceticism was also possible, never mind that eternal life was not worth her concern. Knowledge star, this palace feels you also are quite tricky, to have been able to recruit sisters like the leisure star, the skillful star, the majestic star and even harm star Wu Song. That man having you truly is his fortune. Chai Ling looked around at the sisters in the immortal's abode, her tone unfathomable. Surveying this place, any one of the heavenly star was a star general shockingly capable of raising a reign of terror in Liangshan. At this time, they nevertheless were dominated by a man. Even noble star Little Whirlwind Chai Ling was somewhat envious. And it was no wonder that Maiden Mountain would get angry. Wu Xinjie shook her head and smiled. Xinjie did not use any tricks. Elder sister, there is no need to deceive this palace. Chai Ling was unconvinced. Who in this world does not know the knowledge star's tricks? It was not as if Wu Xinjie did not think of not using tricks, but Su Xing's nature was basically disgusted with this sort of behavior, so even if she had some tricks, she had no choice but to restrain herself. Truly. All of them were by that man's doings alone. Chai Ling was astonished. Precisely this way. Wu Xinjie somewhat a little bit pleased with herself. Seeing Chai Ling was still somewhat doubtful, Wu Xinjie mocked her, "Noble star, did you not also willingly ingest together to hell with young lord?" The little whirlwind opened the golden thread feather fan, concealing her expression. However, this palace has remembered something. Knowledge star, have you forgotten about her? N. Although she is insignificant, she is also nevertheless a most crucial little sister. Recruiting her to your side will certainly be beneficial. Chai Ling said. You speak of jade-armed craftsman Jin Daijian? 2. Wu Xinjie shook her head. How could she not have thought of this point before? Once before, they mentioned this little sister. Jin Daijian was inferior in martial force among the 108. There practically were not any star cultivators willing to sign a contract with her, but her abilities nevertheless were extremely good. Like Tang Lianxin, and Suwen, and Shi Yuan who had those sorts of specializations, she could carve precious stones and extract essence jade. In the future, star weapon upgrade materials and stones would be expensive, and they would need to extract the essence of items. They would need to depend on jade carving masters. If they had the jade-armed craftsmen, those skillful hands could aid them. They could greatly raise their star weapons upgrade speed and save enormous expenditures. It was just that all those supplementary earthly star sisters were better and better at hiding. Before the fourth phase concludes, practically no one could find them. In the boundless Liangshan, Wu Xinjie could only depend on things like the Four Styles School to encounter them by chance. This evil smiting hall is a good opportunity. The jade-armed craftsman will need to show herself. Chai Ling said. Furthermore, she gazed at the reclusive Tang Lianxin and smiled. Furthermore, a tool refinement master and a jade refining master's star beasts both match up. Perhaps you can run into her. Let nature take its course for this sort of matter. Young lord has his own views. Wu Xinjie was without a choice. Chai Ling moved to take a soldier, gracefully saying, let nature take its course. This is not at all like the knowledge star's style. Yes, this palace can point out one or two things for you. Then you still keep up the suspense. Wu Xinjie unhappily said. Gold, jade and red everywhere, dragon and phoenix compete in favor, who says their paths differ, those who disagree scheme, completely in the center. Chai Ling indignantly recited. This is a phrase this palace sought the divine mathematician Jiang Jing to calculate. Knowledge star, you can consult. The divine mathematician. You know her location. Wu Xinjie was stunned. Divine mathematician Jiang Jing was also considered spiritual energy type star general among the 108, but her computing ability was very powerful. There was one major characteristic, and that was she could calculate the mysteries behind a certain event. The divine mathematician's innate skill, divine calculation, 3, is but very beneficial to this palace. Of course this palace knows. Chai Ling's expression was very lovely. If you, the knowledge star, wishes to seek her, this palace actually can give you information. Wu Xinjie smiled to thank her. Jumping her chariot to the end, she checkmated Chai Ling. Chai Ling froze, stored her fan and twitched her lips. You really are ruthless. Space broke open. Su Xing and Shi Yuan returned to the Void Immortal's abode. The others girls in succession each went to hug him. Even the coldest Wu Xiao's brows rose. Your speed was very fast, just 1 day's time and you captured her star beast. Wu Xinjie stepped forward and smiled. Our luck's not bad. Su Xing said. We ran into the white stripe in the waves. The white stripe in the waves. Damaged star Zhang Shun. All of the girls showed slight surprise. Su Xing summarized what happened. Truly an interesting little sister. Young lord just so happens to not have a water general, do you not have plans to take her into the harem? Wu Xinjie giggled. Su Xing rolled his eyes at her, what take in or not, she isn't a commodity. Wu Xinjie stuck out her tongue, turning her head to intentionally glance at Chai Ling, that expression seemingly saying, did you hear my young lord's words? Chai Ling was pensive. Next is Lianxin, you go with me together to Evil Smiting Hall. Su Xing extended his hand in invitation. Young master, do you want to first rest a bit? Lin Yingmei said. It's okay. I'm very full of energy. Su Xing chuckled. Before they emerged, he and Shi Yuan unavoidably made trouble once more. The fine lady's essence gathering's depths could restore energy. Even if he had fought the Urgent Sea's white spirit python, Su Xing's current vigor was abundant. Wu Xinjie nodded. An earthly star's star beast was not difficult to capture. Now was a race against time. The earlier they could capture star beasts, the more they had an advantage. Young lord, when you and little sister Lianxin go to Evil Smiting Hall in a moment, see whether or not you can find the location of gold, jade, and red everywhere. Gold, jade, and red everywhere. Yes, that place should have little sister Lianxin's star beast, and perhaps you will encounter a sister. Su Xing understood. Tang Lianxin and Su Xing gazed at each other. They poured each of their star energies into Evil Smiting Hall. Their star crests launched, and they immediately became illusions that left the void immortal's abode. This time, the place Su Xing and Tang Lianxin appeared at was on a mound of rocks. All around was entirely a wilderness, the air very dry. Gold, jade, and red everywhere, Su Xing surveyed for a moment, not finding anything coinciding with the description. Elder brother, let us first go to the surroundings and look. Tang Lianxin said nothing else, boarding the fire beacon chariot to search this sector of Evil Smiting Hall. Su Xing knew that Tang Lianxin's temperament did things in a direct manner. He could not help smiling, and he controlled his flying sword to follow her up. Although it was said the Evil Smiting Writ would take a star general to the domain of a star beast, Evil Smiting Hall was large practically beyond reason. To find one or two star beasts was like finding a needle in a haystack. Lianxin, what's your star beast like? A gold coin-spotted leopard? Su Xing asked. That is a martial force type star beast. Tang Lianxin answered. Several hours later, the sky very quickly turned dark. Su Xing and Tang Lianxin gave up on their search for the time being and sought out a place to hide at, lighting a bonfire. When black night arrived in Evil Smiting Hall, it appeared sinister and eerie. Bizarre star beast cries they did not hear during the day now came from all directions, clearly visible. Many star beasts favored coming out at night for their activities. Their danger level absolutely made people terrified, and among them were star beasts that were categorized as assassin type, which were even more impossible to defend against effectively. The temperature of Evil Smiting Hall's nights was very low. Due to only being able to use astral tools in Evil Smiting Hall, other artifacts and such lost their spiritual powers. Even with a star cultivator's surly physique, he was still unbearably frozen. Seeing Tang Lianxin expressionlessly hug herself, breathing on her hands, Su Xing walked over and sat beside her, one arm wrapping around Tang Lianxin's shoulder. Sleep in big brother's embrace. Tang Lianxin's whole body stiffened. Under the bonfire, her cheeks caught red clouds. Su Xing's chest was more burning, and the chill in her 4 limbs instantly disappeared. Tang Lianxin softly grunted, not struggling as she quietly closed her eyes. The two people were silent that night. Several days afterwards, very late at night. Shining moonlight, twinkling stars, and a face-caressing gentle breeze. Any way it was looked at, the jungle's late-night tranquility was very suitable for dreaming, but some people nevertheless did not feel like this. At least Su Xing did not feel this way. If he truly was dreaming, dreaming inside Evil Smiting Hall definitely was a nightmare. Su Xing ran unbridled in the forest. Through the moonlight, his agilely and nimbly dodged obstacles of all sorts. Behind him was a pursuing shadow. If it was not for that faint breathing and practically inaudible movements, it was simply hard to distinguish that was a living being. Su Xing named this shadow, Assassin. In reality, this assassin was considerably faithful to its instincts. Roar! A beastly shout broke the silence. The shadow spared no effort to pounce over. The moonlight tore its camouflage. That was a dark and swarthy black panther. Su Xing whirled around, using the forest as a screen. He rapidly climbed over a tree, carefully concealing his own breathing. Truly, think of something and you'll bump into it. Su Xing felt even more helpless about his current situation. Several days before, his search with Tang Lianxin in Evil Smiting Hall for gold, jade and red everywhere was fruitless. At night, Su Xing was carried away by a whim to prepare dinner for Tang Lianxin. Star generals were indifferent to hunger, but since he nevertheless wanted to eat something, having himself crossed through the culinary delicacies of East and West, it was too sinful for Su Xing to not eat anything. As a result, Su Xing searched for prey in Evil Smiting Hall, for besides star beasts, every sort of beast was present in large numbers. A beast then became a meal, and they gorged on it that same evening. Tang Lianxin's expressionless face even exclaimed at the savory smell of pork. Just before Su Xing could be proud of himself, a black panther similarly had been lured over, a black panther that was clearly a star beast. Heaven knew whether this black panther fancied fried meat or whether it fancied Su Xing. Ever since that night, the black panther would rapidly, precisely, and silently find him. Immediately afterwards was a hunt and deadly pursuit. This sort of hunt actually made Su Xing reminisce about a particular training scenario when he was previously in the army. This black panther not only held a grudge, it was also considerably intelligent. It always knew how it should hide itself. Regardless of whether it was a tree, the surrounding shrubs or even a cave, it could exploit any environment to avail itself an advantageous surprise attack, worthy of a star beast. However, each time the black panther suddenly launched a confident attack, he sensed it, and each danger was easily dodged by Su Xing, also making this bizarre game of assassin continue for several days. Because of that frightening concealment technique and noiseless killing intent of the black panther, Su Xing named it Assassin. Su Xing watched his surroundings attentively, carefully observing even the movement of grass blown by the wind. Yesterday's experience informed him, the assassin before him completely was able to hide the probes of its divine sense. He did not know what pet of which family's child could be so unreasonable. Let me guess where you're hiding this time. Beneath the tree was very calm, and Su Xing suddenly leapt down. Are you above? Before he finished, a shadow pounced down from a tree above. Roar! The black panther let out an indignant sound after it was defeated again. The assassin rapidly chased. Up ahead was a cliff and waterfall. The black panther increased its speed, and after it rushed out of the forest, it saw that its prey was currently at a loss, hesitating at the shore. This time, the assassin did not rush. It slowly crept, as if it was enjoying its prey that had reached the end of its rope. Only then did Su Xing size up this hunting panther for the first time. Its first-rate body brimmed with the beauty of a Greek sculpture, its muscles rippling like waves. It had a pair of purple eyes, and especially interesting was that this black panther apparently dissolved into the shadows. Its whole body emitted a gorgeous shadow that was just like running water. You wouldn't happen to be that investigative star beast? Su Xing suddenly thought of something. If it truly was that investigative star Muhang star beast, Su Xing did not mind first settling this himself. The black panther's purple eyes released a cold light. It flashed its deathly pale fangs, wildly pounced, and its paws also revealed sharp claws. The flowing shadows of fur on its whole body in that instant suddenly swelled, becoming nothingness. Disappearing, then reappearing. Astonishingly it arrived right in front of Su Xing. Originally, I wanted to get myself a star beast. It seems there's no chance. Su Xing sighed. In the instant the black panther was close, Su Xing's fingers flicked, and the 12 Lengyas green light linked together, becoming a green flying sword, shooting straight up. In the end, assassin was an assassin. Just at the time it knocked against the tree trunk, the Black Panther unexpectedly could control its body's nerves to leap from the tree trunk and dash up. The green sword light that Lengya rippled out unexpectedly had been seen as nothing and was avoided. No way. Su Xing was astonished at this cleverness. Roar, roar, the Black Panther's language translated into human words was probably, die, idiot. Su Xing's hands came together. True star purple clouds slapped down in one palm. Immediately afterwards, the ground and trees rapidly scattered. A golden net was lifted up from the ground and firmly trapped the Black Panther within, suspending it between several trees. This net was an astral treasure Chai Ling specially lent, wrapping star net. No matter how the Black Panther howled and tore, it was no use. Finally, it's caught. Su Xing wiped his sweat. Tang Lianxin walked out from a nook. Elder brother, there is no need to gain experience from this star beast. Tang Lianxin was apathetic. Can I take this star beast back to be a pet? Su Xing's eyes glowed. Since Evil Smiting Hall had this many star beasts, he wondered whether or not he could take one or two. For this reason did he try as much. It will not work. Tang Lianxin shook her head, a star general's star beast is one in body. That is why they can capture one, and other people absolutely cannot. Is that so? Su Xing still wanted to try. Staring at the struggling Black Panther, he struck several hand seals, and he launched the star crest on his forehead. This provoked the Black Panther into howling. Just at this moment, Su Xing suddenly sensed danger. He pulled Tang Lianxin and stamped his foot, flying into the air, and an afterimage just happened to flit by. Elder brother. Su Xing firmly stared at the ground, striking hand seals, circulating the purple cloud. Star Master, you truly are loathsome, unexpectedly thinking of snatching this lady's star beast. The opponent did not give chase, standing where she was. Wrapped in black night clothes, her posture was graceful, her hands and feet equipped with fishnet-style pads and stockings, and she had a pair of gleaming purple eyes. Su Xing flipped out the birth treasure outline and looked. Characters slowly revealed themselves. Star position, Guardian Star. 2. Star name, Mu Chun. 3. Nickname, Little Restrained. True name. Rank, 80th star weapon, Frost Moon Ruinous Light. 5. 3 star, Star Beast. Rank, Realm, 10,000 Techniques. First stage innate skill, Perception. 6. 5 elements, Metal Yellow. Rank special move, Dark Attack. 7. Dark rank special move, Flickering Light. Passing Shadows. 8. Current status, no contractor, can be conquered. Detailed materials. Little Restrained? Aren't you the little sister of last time's Unrestrained? Su Xing was stunned. The birth treasure outline? The Guardian Star was startled. She did not expect the Star Master she ran into would be one that possessed the birth treasure outline. To be able to possess the second phase's divine item, she had taken it for granted they were some level of characters. Before Su Xing could say anything, guarding Star Mu Chun shouted, "This lady does not wish to fight you. Is this star beast yours?" The Yin Room Black Panther. 9. If not this lady's, could it be yours? Guardian Star Mu Chun's arms and legs were nimble. Seeing that the Black Panther had been trapped, she took the opportunity to flip out the evil smiting writ. Tang Lianxin's hand gestured, and the wrapping star net retracted. Ah! Mu Chun was dumbstruck. To reap without sowing is always bad. Su Xing chuckled. Its figure flashed, and the Yin Room Black Panther roared. The ground suddenly leaked a stifling shadowy wall. The Yin Room Black Panther had launched an attack. Little Restraints' reactions were very quick, and her figure dispersed into the night, the dual sabers Frost Moon Ruinous Light hooking out 2 lines of red and green that twisted towards the Yin Room Black Panther. A shadowy light just like a saber tip brushed open the double saber's red line. Unexpected at this time, the Yin Room Black Panther had already arrived in front of Mu Chun, its big mouth wide open. The girl was calm, her double sabers faced head-on, the red line intensively growing. The Yin Room Black Panther's roar was like thunder, and the flying red light was ripped apart by a visible shadow. The created shadow was just like a viper in its vicious pursuit, not giving the slightest chance for a breather. Shadowy killing intent pressure from all four directions. The assassin melted into the darkness, pounced, seemingly blending together with the Yin Room Black Panther's shadow, unable to distinguish between what was real and not. It seemed that it indeed was her star beast. Elder brother. Tang Lianxin directed an inquisitive gaze at Su Xing. Su Xing observed for a while. The guardian star Little Restrained was somewhat inferior compared to the investigative star Unrestrained, but she was very calm. Su Xing thought that a sneak attack inevitably would not yield results. Let alone the girl was battling the Yin Room Black Panther, she was still at the same time alert of Su Xing the Star Master. To seize the opportunity to kill her was not possible. However, he could not feel that he could walk away like this from a problem. Do you need help? Su Xing asked to feel her out. Fine. The girl's consent was considerably straightforward. So quick. Could it be you plan to exploit me capturing the star beast to come kill me? Su Xing smiled. To kill you, huh? If this lady wanted to kill you, the flickering light passing shadow this lady used just now could kill off that elder sister, or little sister. Little Restrained retreated, her double sabers dancing. Su Xing nodded. Her words actually were fact, so Su Xing did not move against her. If worst comes to worst, this lady shall help you obtain a star beast, how is that? Little Restrained was an assassin, after all, not very good at direct confrontations. If it was not for Su Xing previously exhausting the Yin Room Black Panther considerably, she basically could not persist for too long. Su Xing inquisitively looked to Tang Lianxin. Tang Lianxin did not have any opinion. Right, how is your relationship with your elder sister investigative star? Su Xing asked. Why are you so pesky? The guarding star clicked her tongue, the investigative star. Do you know where she is? This lady is currently looking for her to settle which of us is better. Truly. What would this lady fool you for? All right then. Su Xing did not need much time to decide to help her. Lightly raising a hand, the flying swords he called forth slashed. Tang Lianxin again released the wrapping star net, however, while the wrapping star net was incredible at capturing things, its speed was slightly slow, particularly when the Yin Room Black Panther's speed was considerably quick. In the end, it was only with the combined efforts of Su Xing and Mu Chun, 10, that they trapped it. Ha, 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 in this lady's capacity as an assassin, she has obtained a star beast without having signed a dual covenant. Ha, 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 Mu Duiying, 11, truly am a genius, yeah. The girl was excited to madness as she looked at the docile Yin Room Black Panther, having entirely forgotten Su Xing had helped her. Seeing her so excited, Su Xing wiped his sweat as he watched from nearby. Then you completely can sign a star dual covenant. Su Xing was confused at her. Since she wanted a star beast so much, and since it was an earthly star's star beast, she could easily settle it with a star master. A star master. Little Restrained Mu Duiying showed disdain. Have you seen my elder sister? Su Xing nodded. Has she signed a star dual covenant? Mu Duiying asked. Su Xing did not conceal anything, not only speaking of which sect she contracted with, but he even said who she was with. As expected, she has contracted. Mu Duiying hooked a smile, her eyes somewhat frenzied. This lady wants to kill her without having signed a contract. Only like this will it show that I am a step higher than the investigative star. Why is this lady rank 80th? Truly this is disappointing. Su Xing's cold sweat overflowed. Having seen many grounds for killing someone, he had not seen a reason like this. Merely out of higher ranking, this elder sister truly was a cold and gloomy assassin in name and reality. Although the little restrained in front of him appeared to be much more meek than her elder sister, inside her bones still was an assassin's ruthlessness. You, without a star master, want to kill her? Su Xing felt this was a joke. This lady is an assassin. Assassins never needed contractors, this is a disgrace. I definitely will wash away elder sister's disgrace. When Mu Duiying spoke of her assassin's status, she appeared rather proud, and her chest that had been bound tightly jutted out. Admirable. Su Xing smiled. He did not know whether he should be happy or sad there was an assassin star general in the star duels with this understanding. Mu Duiying said, I shall not chat with you further. This lady cannot stay in evil smiting hall for too long now that she has obtained a star beast. What star beast do you want to find? Quickly speak. Su Xing did not speak idle chatter, however, Tang Lianxin's star beast honestly was hard to find. The solitary star was not that good at finding things compared to the thief star. These past few days had been fruitless, and relying on the clue Wu Xinjie, they were completely lost. Gold, jade and red everywhere, do you know which place in Evil Smiting Hall has this? Gold, jade and red everywhere. Mu Duiying sunk into long contemplation, and then she struck her palm, this lady remembers where she has seen it before. Really? Su Xing was stunned. Yes. However, it is somewhat far, and we will need to fly. Wu, no matter how good this Room Black Panther is, it cannot fly at all. Mu Duiying coyly said. Seeing the grand assassin so girly, the gold coin-spotted leopard Tang Lianxin was speechless. Just get on the flying sword. Su Xing was very familiar with this, for not that long ago, he and Shi Yuan took care of the damaged star white stripe in the waves. He did not expect he would have to take care of the guardian star assassin so quickly. Seeing Su Xing open his chest wide open, Mu Duiying was not like the white stripe in the waves who was so willing to have sex. You want to have this lady stick to you? This lady wants to stand behind you. Su Xing said, Beauty, what are you kidding? What idiot would let an assassin stand behind him? Mu Duiying thought for a moment and agreed, but to have her lean against a man's chest, there was no need to raise any more awkwardness. What she, Mu Duiying, most hated was to touch a repulsive man, quickly, in a moment, you won't have enough time. Su Xing impatiently prompted. Mu Duiying steeled herself. Her heart said, today, this lady will treat it as entering a pig's den. If Su Xing heard such thoughts, he definitely would have kicked her off less than halfway through. You are not allowed to take advantage of this lady. Mu Duiying's words were righteous. Take advantage of you, my ass. Su Xing truly was somewhat impatient, grabbing her and pulling her on. The girl cried out, you rogue, and the Room Black Panther bared its fangs in threat. Tang Lianxin was silent as she watched this. Lianxin, do you want to say something? Su Xing inquisitively asked. Tang Lianxin shook her head, elder brother, we had better go find it as soon as possible. We have delayed for too long a time. Exactly. Su Xing nodded. Evil Smiting Hall has 3 months, and it has only been several days. This lady ought to be the first to have captured a star beast. Wahahaha, you need to be gentler. Gentler, this is still my first time. When Mu Duiying saw Su Xing did not take advantage of her, she vigorously spoke. Su Xing thought, how can there be such a lively assassin? If you were to sign a contract with her, wasn't that courting death? Su Xing ascended the flying sword, skyrocketing. Mu Duiying's complacency was immediately replaced by a screech. Tang Lianxin silently leaned against Su Xing's back, making him nearly overlook her. The contrast between the two girls was considerably distinct. Oh, so good, doing this for the first time turned out to be so pleasurable. If this lady knew earlier, she would also have sought out a man. Slower, let this lady enjoy it for a bit. How are you so ungentle? Truly, I do not know what that elder sister or little sister sees in you. NNH. Su Xing felt he had truly made a gargantuan mistake allowing the little restrained in front of him onto the sword. The little restrained before his eyes should have been called unrestrained. To speak of it, her mouth was truly unrestrained, incoherently speaking in excitement. Those who knew would believe this was happiness that grew from the bottom of her heart from soaring through the skies on a flying sword for the first time. Those who did not know would believe a lifelong spinster had encountered a rapist. I say, beauty, can you not shout so ambiguously? Even if you were to shout this ambiguously, can you not make your tone this charming? All right then, even if you were so charming, then can your body not be so obscene? Su Xing had not yet touched her, yet he felt somewhat uneasy all over. This Mu Duiying shouted when she wanted, even writhed about. Did this little girl not realize that the place that tight but rubbed against was becoming harder and harder? You rogue, you shameless, you lecher. Mu Duiying cursed. Su Xing scratched his ear. Rogue, shameless, lecher. Much better than her random shouts in heat just now. Flying for a moment, Mu Duiying truly was willing to stay like this for a time. Then, she was regretful about the room Black Panther and wanted to go grab a star beast that could fly, and then she chatted up Su Xing again. Su Xing truly did not expect a star general who was even an assassin would say be so talkative. Where is that gold, jade and red everywhere? Don't hold us up. Su Xing reminded. Mu Duiying went, oh, and directed her gaze below to search. Go around that mountain, and you will be able to see it. Su Xing increased his speed. Rounding the mountain, he saw an extensive golden light spread across the ground. In the night, at first glance of the dazzling light, it looked like a dark red from afar. Gold, jade and red everywhere. What Wu Xinjie spoke of was this. Su Xing added speed to the flying sword and descended. This place is all gold, jade and red stone. Tang Lianxin looked at this enormous plain and was astonished it was a natural mine. Every sort of uncovered stone emitted a golden color, red with light rays. The gold and red intertwined, appearing very fantastic. Can these gold and red stones be used to forge star weapons? Su Xing asked. Impossible. One of these can be sold for several liang. Tang Lianxin replied. When he heard, he was somewhat regretful, and Su Xing lost his interest. To sell one piece for several hundred liang of gold, this place probably had several dozen tons, but the quantity was too much. Excavating all of this would be exceptionally wasteful of time, and Su Xing did not have this sort of time at all. Duiying, what star beasts did you see in this place? Su Xing asked Mu Duiying. Did not notice. This lady was catching the room Black Panther. Mu Duiying said. Let's take a look first. Su Xing pondered, and he could only do this. Right, you still have not told this lady what your name is? Mu Duiying asked. Su Xing. Tang Lianxin. Su Xing Tang Lianxin, Mu Duiying said doubtfully, you two are very embarrassing, to unexpectedly have taken names like this. Su Xing, Tang Lianxin, surname Tang, Mu Duiying racked her brains, this lady seems to remember there was a surname Tang among the sisters. Who was it? Are you Lin Chong? Mu Duiying asked. You just said Lin Chong, obviously that is surname Lin. You're quite dumb. Su Xing ruthlessly criticized her. Tang Lianxin could not help but smile, yet she immediately recovered her calm afterwards. Solitary star Tang Long. Oh, Tang Long, the solitary star, Mu Duiying nodded her head in agreement. Su Xing felt she completely did not recall who that was. What rank? Mu Duiying asked, as expected. 88. Tang Lianxin very patiently answered. Mu Duiying put her hands on her hips and laughed, ha, 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 so you are a little sister, ha, 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 ha. This lady has finally encountered a little sister. You don't remember even this? Su Xing sympathized with whichever star master was about to die contracted to her. Little restrained Mu Duiying said disgruntled, 107 sisters, how can this lady remember? So long as this lady defeats that one elder sister, this is fine. Seeing her speak so confidently, Su Xing did not know whether to laugh or cry. Walking around the grounds of the Gold and Jade, Mu Duiying was somewhat bored. She yawned and let out the room Black Panther. Suddenly, little restrained Mu Duiying's eyes shone, and her whole body recovered its vigor. She shouted in amazement, "That butterfly is so pretty, this lady wants to catch it for her collection." Following her line of sight, several hundred meters ahead was an odd butterfly fluttering about. To say it was odd was because this butterfly was the size of an adult person, its wings like belts of light, piece by piece, with wing marks showing. It clearly was considerably bright, and its center was a warm scarlet color with its surroundings a divine gold light. That light burned like a fire. All the while it was flying, it was extremely fantastical. Great Sun Essence Flame Butterfly. 3. Tang Lianxin spoke these 5 words. It is little sister Tang Lianxin's star beast. Mu Duiying was somewhat regretful. Tang Lianxin nodded, for this was exactly the star beast the solitary star was searching for. This lady shall go capture her. Mu Duiying hefted the Frost Moon Ruinous Light double saber and was about to advance. Su Xing grabbed her, "Don't go first." "Why? Is that Great Sun Essence Flame Butterfly or whatever not little sister Tang Lianxin's star beast?" Mu Duiying was confused. "Don't startle the butterfly. Let's hide first," Su Xing said. Mu Duiying shrugged her shoulders. As far as she was concerned, hiding was very easy. Her silhouette immediately hid into the night, completely invisible. Su Xing basically could not see her. Fearing she would go startle that butterfly, Su Xing grabbed at empty air, thinking of grabbing onto her hand. Suddenly, he felt a soft thing that jutted out. "You rogue, you shameless, you lecher." Her invisibility broke, and Mu Duiying's dumbstruck appearance appeared before Su Xing. "Su Xing, Mu Duiying. You rogue, you lecher, you shameless." Mu Duiying raised her double saber and was about to slash. Just at this moment, the Great Sun Essence Flame Butterfly made a noise. A golden flame rolled about, covering the sky and earth. The originally swaying Great Sun Essence Flame Butterfly cried. That golden flame of its whole body immediately swelled towards them, covering everything. When Su Xing, Tang Lianxin and Mu Duiying saw the incoming blaze of torrential power, they each retreated a step. Su Xing called forth Langia, and the sword lights shot towards the fire, but then another golden light suppressed them. The Great Sun Essence Flame Butterfly was the supreme star beast for tool refinement masters and the like. Naturally possessing the sun's essence flame, that was how it got its name. It could allow a tool refinement master's forging to become like a tiger that had grown wings, and the flames it used were even more powerful. Su Xing saw that the Langia had been suppressed and did not hesitate at all to launch a purple mansion immortal thunder, but all of it was dissolved by the fire. It was obvious how valiant the essence flame this star beast emitted was. Annoying. Mu Duiying's figure was vaguely gone and was just about to attack, but she was inside the Great Sun Essence Flame. The girl's invisibility completely lost its usefulness. That swathe of bright fire made her incapable of vanishing, which made her at an even greater loss of what to do. This star beast is too powerful. Little Restrained had been forced back. She inherently was an assassin, still capable of sneak attacks, but a direct confrontation was honestly not something she was good at in any way. She somewhat innocently looked at Su Xing. Those twinkling eyes seemed to say, "Maybe, look for something else. Go attract its flame, I will handle it." Su Xing shouted. Mu Duiying twitched her lips. How can one star master handle it alone? With this train of thought, Mu Duiying was better off ordering the room Black Panther to go kill the Great Sun Essence Flame Butterfly. She herself had pushed her assassination arts to the limit, her figure leaving behind several phantoms. Tang Lianxin at this time called forth her 4-star Great Void Golden Lotus. The great void golden lotus transformed into millions of unstoppable threads that went to block this flame. Su Xing leaned forward and dashed, a movement dazzling to the eyes which felt pretty good. In several breaths' time, along with the arrival of the two girls' protection already before the great sun essence flame butterfly, he looked at the dreamy and blazing butterfly in front of him, and Su Xing's face wore slight amazement. This star beast truly was gorgeous. The great sun essence flame butterfly raised its wings. Those wings seemingly became a beast's sharp claws, upon which a terrifying flame was worn that wanted to stop Su Xing. However, its nightmare had already begun. Under the gaze of the girls who spectated as if they were watching a movie whilst eating popcorn, Su Xing was fast as lightning. One step directly kicked onto those front claws of the great sun essence flame butterfly. The great sun essence flame butterfly was too late to fully use its illusion. Along with a ripping sound of breaking space, the entire blaze suddenly pounced, a glaring blaze suddenly spraying out, as if it was madly bubbling fountain of blood. The great sun essence flame butterfly cried, playing a sad melody. An enormous pillar of flame suddenly sprayed out of its body, bringing a temperature higher by 1,000-fold. It engulfed a range of several meters in front of it, the high temperatures making the air give rise to distortions. Everything in the surroundings became unreal. It would not burn to ash, would it? When Mu Duiying saw such a situation, she continuously retreated. The flames were increasingly fierce, practically blocking their line of sight. Little restrained Mu Duiying could not see clearly the situation within, only feeling that little sister solitary star Tang Long's star master was truly very unreliable. As a star master, he would unexpectedly stake everything alongside his star general, which was truly too messy. Turning her head to look at Tang Lianxin, she found that she was abnormally indifferent. Could he have a trick? Just as she thought this, a figure leapt out high, leaving Mu Duiying stupefied. This guy's martial force was a bit abnormal. Su Xing had already leapt up high, for he had no real interest in challenging flames like this that could melt steel. His body flipped in midair, and when he descended, he already pointed his fingertip. His whole body was enveloped in a barrier of purple qi, heavily smashing the butterfly that was stupidly spouting fire. Pooh! Su Xing's knee was like a drilling machine, accurately hitting the butterfly's wing. An enormous power immediately was deflated together along with those wings spraying fire. The blaze abruptly stopped, unexpectedly spraying in the other directions all at the same time. The great sun essence flame butterfly's fire wildly swelled. Su Xing cursed, and that flame immediately swallowed him. A powerful essence fire burned the gold, jade, and red stone mine. The Yin Room Black Panther had been scorched into yelping, so the power was apparent. Su Xing fell out safe and sound. This butterfly seems to be a bit not too well. Su Xing wrinkled his brow, feeling that the great sun essence flame butterfly was apparently injured. Ah, rogue, shameless, pervert! Mu Duiying screamed. Su Xing then discovered that all of his clothes had been burned clean away. Even he blushed and hastily changed into new clothes. The great sun essence flame butterfly seems to have previously been infuriated by someone. Tang Lianxin showed slight unrest, after all, it was her star beast. Seeing it like this, her heart felt uncomfortable, but at this time, the great sun essence flame butterfly completely erupted. Its whole body folded and then extended its wings. Astonishingly, it became a human-like light figure, still with several thread-like rays of light wings on its back. This star beast is so cute. Mu Duiying's eyes were fastened on it. She laughed. It is time for this lady to display her skill. Su Xing was too late to stop her. All of a sudden, the girl's figure warped, and she rushed over. Her shadow under the great sun essence flame was very dazzling. Su Xing was helpless, only able to call forth Lengia to help open a path for her. Even if Su Xing's martial force was not bad, he did not have those excellent star weapons that star generals had and was completely helpless. Mu Duiying did not hesitate to adopt a straight charge through the center style. Her speed was quick beyond reason, and her silhouette instantly became a shining line, and his shadowy vagueness shot together towards the great sun essence flame butterfly's chest. But just when the attack was on the verge of bursting out, it nevertheless was abruptly extinguished. A nearly transparent barrier of flame blocked head-on this keen assassination move. The great sun essence flame butterfly's wings transformed into a frightening tentacle-shaped red flame, ablaze like light. Every inch of its surface burned like a blade's edge, sharp beyond compare. Under the glint of the sparks scattered everywhere, this pair of lights that shot out and dazzled the eyes wrapped life and death. The great sun essence flame butterfly's wings extended, releasing a seemingly otherworldly sound. The enormous light rays directly forced the group back continuously. Duiying raised her double sabers, the smile on the corner of her mouth excited and cute. Her toes lightly stepped, gracefully stepping along air. From far away, it seemed as if she was standing still. In actuality, she was floating several inches in the air above the ground. Despite there only being just a bit of distance, their speed in battling nevertheless would give rise to a qualitative leap for this reason. Seeing the cold light of her double sabers flit by, her body techniques were like a demon. Astonishingly, she used her dark rank assassination, flickering light passing shadows. The great sun essence flame butterfly's wings shook, and several million flame blades simultaneously waved, like that ancient and unending rainstorm. The stretching rays of light and blaze on its two wings brought burst upon burst of rain like golden light, but Duiying's flickering light passing shadows nevertheless was sharply breaking through. The layers of flame blades were treated as nothing. The demon-like figure freely maneuvered among the layers of attacks, and the tips of the double sabers drew arc after arc of brilliant light. The frost moon ruinous light brought a prick of cold light, accurate beyond compare as it passed through the gaps between the countless blades. The transparent flame wings instantly whirled, and the great sun essence flame butterfly was forced to break away from the engagement distance, flapping its wings to soar. The blaze sprinkled like blood. "Hey, how can I fight if you run into the sky?" Duiying was gloomy. The great sun essence flame butterfly loosed an odd hiss. Its wings wrapped together, and the rays of light were even more glaring. "Elder sister, run, quickly!" Tang Lianxin hastily shouted. Duiying blinked. Bloom! Great sun essence flame butterfly suddenly fell like a meteor. Its speed flashed by. The earth violently quaked. A great sun essence flame like waves rolled over. In a range of more than a dozen li, the night was a brilliance, like a bonfire. By the time everything stopped, Duiying was stunned to discover she had been tackled to the ground by Su Xing, her stomach squeezed to somewhat stifling. "You're an assassin, don't be reckless." Duiying twitched her lips somewhat in grievance. Obviously, she was the one supposed to be helping them obtain the star beast. But still, thanks. Su Xing smiled. Humph. At this time, they heard a bone-chilling whine. Duiying climbed up and saw that Tang Lianxin was currently both her palms outwards. More than 100 golden lotuses congregated around the great sun essence flame butterfly, interweaving with each other into a golden net. The 4-star Great Void Golden Lotus was also considerably fierce. In addition, having just been attacked by Su Xing and Duiying, the current Great Sun Essence Flame Butterfly was exhausted, but its flames endlessly pounced towards Tang Lianxin. A radiance suddenly burst forth between Tang Lianxin's hands. At this very moment, the Great Void Golden Lotus lights concentrated between the solitary star's palms was increasingly dazzling. The brilliant golden flames in her hands quickly spread in every direction, trickling past the girl's arms like rivers, also extending a pair of transparent wings that stirred up warm ripples. Finally, it condensed into burning golden lotus armor. She practically was like a Valkyrie descended. Su Xing's eyes were fixed on Tang Lianxin's figure, his expression incapable of suppression, and became taut. His pupils were contracted more than just a moment before. He knew that Tang Lianxin wanted to capture the Great Sun Essence Flame Butterfly by herself and was unavoidably somewhat worried. The next instant, several dozen rays of gorgeous flame blades shot out from the great sun essence flame butterfly's wings, turning the mine into an ocean of destruction wrought by light. Her body was enveloped in a barrier, and Tang Lianxin's small change in clothes did not have any damage. A storm-like torrent of fire surrounded her. Tang Lianxin also shouted at the same time, dispersing the great void golden lotus around the great sun essence flame butterfly to immediately capture it. The radiance was beginning to dim. When Tang Lianxin saw, she knew that the great sun essence flame butterfly's drive was already reduced. Just as she was about to use the evil smiting writ to capture it, just at this moment, all of a sudden she heard a thunderclap. A lightning bolt struck at Tang Lianxin, and Su Xing blocked in front of her when he saw it. Several sharp light rays shot down once more. These struck upon the great void golden lotus net. The 4-star great void golden lotus unexpectedly completely shattered, becoming lotus seeds. Upon breaking free of the great void golden lotus net, the great sun essence flame butterfly immediately raised its wings and fled. Su Xing was about to chase when he saw that, but those lightning bolts continuously crashed. Atop a cliff face, Su Xing spotted the sneak attacker. She was an ice-cold girl with a stone-like expression. The girl wore white armor with refined long clothes, with every sort of jade ornament. She was extremely gorgeous. In one hand, she held a translucent hammer, and in her other she clutched a nail. Every time she struck, it would always shoot out lightning bolts, flame, sword light, and every other sort of terrifying power. That star General 5-star. And he saw that star weapon had 5 stars circulating around like fairies on the jade hammer. HM. Unexpectedly thinking of stealing your servant's star beast, truly you are very brazen. Allow your servant to send you off on a journey. The girl icily said. Liked it? 5-star star weapon. Let alone Su Xing, even the Tang Lianxin who never had a false countenance showed astonishment. Due to the hammer and nail that the white jade armor girl held in her hands being entirely carved from white jade, they were translucent as ice, beautifully designed, colorful and fluorescent. Due to the distance being too great and the night so dark, Su Xing could not clearly see just what the weapon was, but he could tell she was not a heavenly star. Otherwise, at the current stage, let alone a 5-star destined weapon, a 4-star was already powerful enough. The girl stood on the cliff, considerably fierce. Hearing her words, it seemed as if Su Xing was stealing her star beast. Unexpectedly injuring my Qiongyu's star beast, watch my wind thunder lightning flash, too, the girl shouted. The hammer beat the nail, shaking the mountain and producing a roll of thunder. A hammer and nail, and a flash of lightning crashed down. Fortunately she was not a magic energy star general. The lightning looked powerful, but it was unlikely to be lethal. Nevertheless, Su Xing's group and the great sun essence flame butterfly were obstructed. Su Xing flipped his hand, turning out the birth treasure outline. He actually wanted to see what her background was to have unexpectedly gotten her star weapon to a state as exaggerated as 5-star. While Su Xing probed, Tang Lianxin immediately went to chase the great sun essence flame butterfly. The several hundred great void lotus became countless golden needles that attacked the young girl in white jade armor. A line of golden characters hovered on the birth treasure outline, and seeing the girl's background, Su Xing was suddenly shaken. Star position, skillful star, 3, star name, Jin Deijian nickname, Jade Armed Craftsman true name, Jin Qiongyu, 5, rank, 66 star weapon, dragon carving hammer, phoenix engraving nail, 6, 5-star, star beast. Rank, realm, 10,000 techniques 5th stage innate talent, jade carving, 7, 5 elements, metal yellow rank special move, as quick as lightning, 8, dark rank special move, wind thunder lightning pull, 2, current status, no contractor, can be conquered, detailed materials. The skillful star. Su Xing raised his head to look at the girl, full of disbelief. She was the skillful star Jade Armed Craftsman. Tang Lianxin was also stunned, her hands stopping their waving motion, her expression uncertain. Su Xing even hesitated for the moment. Wu Xinjie had once mentioned the jade-armed craftsman's famous name. Although in past star duels she was a silent and obscure character without a star cultivator ever willing to sign a contract with her, she nevertheless possessed a critical role. In the future, star weapons were of the utmost importance in the star duels, but heavenly stars generally found it difficult to advance upon upgrading to 7-star because the stones to be found later were honestly too many. This was not something a star general, or even a sect, could bear. And the jade-armed craftsman was Liangshan Continent's brilliant and famous jade refinement master. Not only could she extract the precious stone from raw materials, she even possessed the ability to turn stone into cold and carve stone into jade. For a normal star cultivator alone to contract the jade-armed craftsman, no matter how powerful their jade refinement abilities, it would be useless. However, Su Xing was not normal. He had 7-star maidens. If he could obtain the jade-armed craftsman, he would practically be a tiger that had grown wings. He absolutely could not miss such a sister. When he found out that the girl that had come to fight for the great sun essence flame butterfly was unexpectedly that skillful star they had yearned for day and night, Su Xing was at first hesitant. Tang Lianxin was fully aware the elder sister before them was very vital. The great void golden lotus suddenly retreated. Although the jade-armed craftsman's star weapon was unbelievably 5-star, she inherently lacked martial force, and her star weapon was no threat at all. No matter what, she basically was incapable of handling Su Xing. Now seeing that Su Xing and Tang Lianxin hesitated, she thought they feared her 5-star destined weapon. She leapt without the slightest hesitation, going to grab the great sun essence flame butterfly. Su Xing looked helplessly at her about to capture the great sun essence flame butterfly. He momentarily looked at Tang Lianxin, incomparably complicated. Tang Lianxin slightly exhaled and shook her head. Clearly, she wanted to give up on the great sun essence flame butterfly. If they wanted to have Jin Daijian follow them, they had to make an exchange. Then they had no choice but to yield this star beast, and Su Xing's heart truly was sullen. As they thought this, how could that assassin beside them have such considerations? Seeing this girl about to snatch it, how could Mu Duiying let her wish be fulfilled? Having agreed to help Su Xing obtain a star beast, she naturally would complete her promise. Her silhouette flashed, blocking Jin Qiongyu. Bang, bang, bang. Jin Qiongyu struck the hammer and nail. The 5-star fairies circulating about the dragon carving and phoenix engraving hammer and nail seemed to come alive, be as quick as lightning attacking Mu Duiying. Mu Duiying raised frost moon ruinous light, being struck back several dozen meters. No matter what she did directly, she basically could not block Jin Daijian's star weapon. Su Xing, what are you doing staring? Mu Duiying shouted. The Yin Room Black Panther rushed, raising its paw, striking back the Jin Daijian. When Su Xing saw, he scuttled in several steps between the people. The 12 Lengia arranged into a line to block, a ray of green light dispersing in torrents. Wait, I don't want to be enemies with you. Su Xing's voice sunk. Lengia was like a fierce beast's fangs bared at skillful star Jin Qiongyu. Mu Duiying also stopped her attack, at a loss and was confused. Tang Lianxin also agreed, completely retracting the great void golden lotus, only making them trap the great sun essence flame butterfly. Jin Qiongyu knew that although she was at 10,000 techniques 5th stage, only her star weapon's promotion was upgraded. In martial force and magic energy, as well as other aspects, she completely was not their opponent. Calming her face, she coldly said, then just leave, do not hinder your servant going to capture the star beast. Su Xing wrinkled his brow. He could take the girl's tone being overbearing, but her attitude honestly made him annoyed. To think of it, he was at ease when he recalled he had first tried to take her star beast. You also are capturing the great sun essence flame butterfly. The great void golden lotus. So it turned out to be Tang Lianxin, unexpectedly signing a contract. Did you find a man to come help you? Jin Xiongyu sneered. Just what are you thinking of doing? Do you want to ascend Maiden Mountain, to end these 1,000-year star duels? Su Xing asked. What? Not only Jin Xiongyu, even Mu Duiying was stunned. End the 1,000-year star duels? What do you wish to say? Jin Xiongyu cautiously said. Sign a contract with me, let's go to Maiden Mountain together. Su Xing got right to the point, not thinking of beating about the bush for a favorable impression one bit. Ha! Jin Xiongyu laughed aloud, for she had heard a very good joke. You are merely galaxy middle stage, and you have contracted the incompetent solitary star. You truly are quite arrogant to go to Maiden Mountain. Hearing her assess Tang Lianxin as incompetent, Su Xing's expression sunk and was about to sour. And if there are also other elder sisters? Tang Lianxin immediately stepped forward. The girl surreptitiously shook her head at Su Xing. She did not care at all for some evaluation. On the contrary, she knew the importance of the jade-armed craftsman for Su Xing, other sisters. Jin Xiongyu icily looked at Tang Lianxin. 10 fingers pull springtime shoots tenderly, white delicate appearance and very lively. People first wish to display full power modestly. Cloud clothes rainbow sleeves exposed slightly. The best is a spring night heavenly, yellow hall rolls stopped quiet beauty. Mundane heart lacks regard and helplessly worry. Try pinching the sprig and sniff frequently. 10. In an inscrutable twist of fate, there suddenly came a pure song, naturally descending from the clouds, attracting everyone's attention. Su Xing followed the voice and looked, and he was immediately stunned endlessly. He saw a picturesque beauty walk over, full of elegance. She wore a snow-white, blue and white embroidered long skirt. The skirt's edges had dragged along the ground like piled snow. Seeing her wind bun and misty temples, black hair like a waterfall, a slanted jade hairpin stuck within, and a sash with inlaid silver, she blossomed, a countenance like that of a flower, a face like the moon, her skin was wonderful, her young bones shapely, as if she was graceful and shapely. However beautiful she appeared, there was a poem that could describe her, elegant and supple waves pass on by, fragrant threads brush hearts and hands away. Attract attention with allure quiet and icy, only pity quiet dreams white as poetry. 11. She was entirely stunning, hard to copy in every single way. Su Xing originally thought he had a powerful immunity to beauties, but upon seeing the girl, he had a sort of feeling that startled man and heaven. That beautiful woman smiled, a breeze across her whole face. Su Xing seemingly felt he had seen her before somewhere, but he nevertheless could not forget such a smile if he had seen it before. At this moment, there was another girl follow beside her, one that was tall in stature with a baleful arrogance. Her hands clenched 2 clumps of gloom, her eyes completely lacking emotion, as if she was a puppet, but occasionally there were rays of cruel light that flit by that demonstrated this girl's innermost desire to kill. Black Whirlwind Longkui. Su Xing was stunned. He glanced at the birth treasure outline, and then a line of data appeared. Star position, Killer Star, 12, Star name, Li Kuei, 13, Nickname, Black Whirlwind, 14, True name, Li Longkui rank, 22nd star weapon, Bereaved Immortal Lofty Slaughter, 16, 2 star, Star Beast. Rank, Realm, 10,000 Techniques 4th stage Innate skill, Loss of Pain Perception, 17, 5 elements, Wood Yellow rank Special move, Little Demon Slaying, 18, Dark rank Technique, Wild Dance of Demons and Gods, 19, Current status, Uprising, 20, Cannot be conquered, Detailed materials. Uprising, Su Xing wrinkled his brow. This was actually the first time he had seen this sort of status, but looking at that unmatched and magnificent beauty, Su Xing immediately recalled who she was, Qingci, whom he once encountered in the Vermilion Bird territory. When Su Xing looked to Qingci, he was again astonished. Qingci's delicate hands unfolded, and an identical treasure book appeared in her hand. Qingci looked at Su Xing, those charming pupils somewhat profound. Due to Su Xing using the change appearance pill, she did not recognize Su Xing, the jade-armed craftsman and the gold coin-spotted leopard. Truly, your servant did not expect she could encounter the best tool refinement master and jade refinement master of the 108-star generals here at the same time. Qingci smiled, her voice gentle. Pity that little sister Tang Long has signed a contract. This makes your servant somewhat regretful. I can't be seeing things, unexpectedly seeing two birth treasure outlines. Mu Duiying was dumbstruck. Yes, truly very coincidental. Evil Smiting Hall is so large, and not only could we encounter someone, we even encountered someone else also holding the birth treasure outline. Su Xing nodded. Seeing Qingci, he nevertheless did not dare to be unbridled, particularly the Li Longkui beside Qingci. Against this terrible and scathing fiend star, they completely were not opponents. Your servant heard young lord's words just now. Young lord and the other star cultivators alike are all cunning. Obviously, you have already contracted your limit, yet you wish to have the jade-armed craftsman follow you with a deluge of flowers. When the time comes, will you not exploit her? Qingci slightly smiled. How could I do this sort of thing? Of course I am prepared to sign a contract that I would speak like this. Su Xing calmly said. Does young lord truly have the confidence to contract little sister? And what are you thinking of? Su Xing said. Little sister's skillful star. Do you agree to this man's proposition? Qingci did not answer and asked a question in turn to Jin Qiongyu. Jin Qiongyu had the mind to retreat after seeing the situation before her, but seeing the great sun essence flame butterfly so close in front of her, she was unwilling. You star masters are truly boring. If you can sign a contract, why wouldn't your servant agree? Jin Qiongyu searched for a plan, thinking of first using Su Xing to fight that Qingci in a battle between two tigers, 21, then take the chance to snatch the star beast. Jin Qiongyu's thoughts, how could the two have known? Qingci slightly smiled. She extended her white hand in invitation. Your servant also wishes to sign a contract to ascend Maiden Mountain together. Little sister must be willing to follow your servant. Ah. Qingci's words were astonishing. Connecting that to Li Longkui's uprising status, a shocking idea suddenly flashed through Su Xing's mind. He flipped out the birth treasure outline, but there was no reaction whatsoever. Was he oversensitive? Su Xing pondered. You also wish to make your servant follow? Jin Qiongyu was extremely angry yet smiled. You two star masters are honestly interesting. Do you truly believe you can contract your servant? Qingci said, little sister need not get angry. There is no contractor. Could it be that little sister Qiongyu has the confidence to survive in the end? Come to think of it, the previous majestic star panther head was some level of fighter, even joining together with the unequaled Wusong, yet did she not die in battle at the end? Little sister, could it be you feel you are more lucky than the majestic star? Elder sister, no more talk, just slaughter her. Li Longkui took a step forward, her tone brimming with thick killing intent. Those two gloomy killing intents seemed substantial as they pressed down upon Jin Qiongyu. Longkui, do not be rude to little sister. Qingci softly rebuked, a smile in her eyes. With the black whirlwind Li Kui present, so long as people had eyes, they would know what choice to make. Tang Lianxin also completely abandoned her previously detached personality, saying to Jin Qiongyu, I urge elder sister to think some more. With Lianxin's and elder sister's abilities, so long as we assist young master, we definitely can ascend Maiden Mountain. Furthermore, the star generals following young master will make elder sister shocked. Never thought the solitary star would unexpectedly help speak up for the young lord. It seems this young lord is somewhat out of the ordinary, and he even has a little sister that has not signed a contract following him. Qingci smiled, her appearance very light, downplaying things. This lady is not following him. Do not say random things, woman. This lady is but incorruptible. Mu Duiying blurted out. At this time, no one cared about her opinion. Elder brother. Tang Lianxin's eyes hinted to Su Xing, the jade-armed craftsman in front of them absolutely could not be given up on. It was just that Su Xing was silent, pondering. Seeing this man and woman unexpectedly vying for her, the jade-armed craftsman Jin Qiangyu's eyes turned, showing a satisfied vanity and sneer. Do you wish to make your servant follow you? Jin Qiangyu gazed at Su Xing, only to ascend Maiden Mountain together. Su Xing calmly answered. Is that so? As long as you agree to your servant's condition, then your servant will agree to you. Jin Qiangyu showed a crafty smile. Su Xing had an ill sense of foreboding. What condition? Humph. Skillful star Jin Qiangyu pointed at mouthpiece Tang Lianxin. Rescind the contract you have with her, then your servant will follow you. The moment she said these words, the scene was silent. How are you so lacking in morals, elder sister? Is this not forcing him onto a dead end? Mu Duiying said displeased. To forcefully rescind a contract, the star maiden would suffer great harm to her vitality, reducing herself to the same level as a cripple. This was not any better than death. You keep on saying you want to make your servant follow you, was that not to make your star weapons increase in rank? Show a little good faith, and your servant will accompany you. Jin Qiangyu's eyes were full of disdain. All right, Lianxin willingly rescinds the contract with elder brother. Tang Lianxin sincerely answered. Ah! Everyone present was shaken. Even the still as a dry well, the light as clouds and gentle breezes Qingci showed a startled expression. Probably, no one had thought the star maiden known as the solitary star would firmly issue this sort of reply. If she was not randomly saying things, who would willingly sacrifice themselves? A moment later, all of the girls gazed at Su Xing, brimming with bewilderment. Rescind my ass. Su Xing sneered at Jin Qiangyu. Such a high and mighty woman, even if you were gifted to me, I would have no interest. Originally, he wanted to contract the jade-armed craftsman only because Wu Xinjie had again and again told of the skillful star's importance. Su Xing had felt there was propriety, but the Jin Qiangyu in front of him honestly was extremely arrogant. If he had taken her star beast prior, that attitude would have been fine. Now, she unexpectedly could even speak words of renouncing Tang Lianxin from her mouth. Any desire to have her follow him had vanished into thin air. Su Xing even wanted to destroy her. You dare speak of me like this? Jin Qiangyu grit her teeth, raising the dragon-carving phoenix engraving hammer and nail, shooting lightning. Elder brother. Tang Lianxin was also astonished. Su Xing pulled Tang Lianxin's hand and rushed towards the great sun essence flame butterfly, chiding, Lianxin, in the future, do not speak to me about nonsense like rescinding our contract. Without you girls, what the fuck would I be doing going to that motherfucking Maiden Mountain? Tang Lianxin froze, her cold eyes leaking complexity. She hummed. Behind them came a screaming, ear-shattering sound. Turning their heads to look, the black whirlwind was in pursuit, her speed quick beyond reason. Elder sister, too, quickly go obtain your star beast. Allow this lady to handle that Li Kuei. Mu Duiying took in a deep breath and raised her double sabers. With her abilities, to directly face the black whirlwind Li Kuei was practically suicide. Su Xing turned around to face her together. Tang Lianxin was somewhat moved, but she did not turn her head back. She flew towards the great sun essence flame butterfly, preparing to capture it. I am so angry. You stinking man, you completely do not know that your servant can let you have instant success. Jin Qiangyu's eyes were about to spurt fire. The hammer and nail incessantly danced, adding into the ranks of the fighters. Qingci beautifully stood, calmly looking at Su Xing, brimming with curiosity. She made no movements, allowing Longkui to set out. The first time he confronted the killer star head-on, Su Xing only felt as if his heart had a large stone pressing down on his stomach, not letting him breathe. That heaven and earth concealing imposing air of black wind toppled mountains and overturned seas, demonic. Just seeing her made people tremble in fear. If it was not for Su Xing being accustomed to battles across levels, he would automatically be a totally defeated army just by facing Li Kuei's imposing air. Such powerful spirit. His limbs and bones were ice cold, and his hands and feet were somewhat rigid. This was the might of a heavenly star marshal general, something that was absolutely not able to be discussed in the same sentence as an earthly star. Seeing Mu Duiying also show a grave expression, cold sweat flowed out his forehead. "You'd best get going first," Su Xing said. "This lady promised you and will fulfill it." Mu Duiying's tone sunk. Killer star Li Longkui laughed malevolently, as if hell itself had come. Her figure suddenly disappeared from Su Xing and Mu Duiying's eyes. Even with Mu Duiying's innate skill perception, she could not lock on to the killer star's trajectory. What speed was this? So fast. Not good. The deep darkness looked just like the blossoming weeps of demons, as if this was an illusion. In that instant Li Longkui disappeared, countless black demon shadows rushed out of her weapon. Engulfing everything, the evil spirits were berserk, a desolate and evil wind. If it was anyone else, they definitely would be torn to the extreme by these suddenly frantic demons. Even if they did not die, they definitely would be crippled. Unexpectedly, it was her dark rank move. For a heavenly star to use a heaven, earth, dark, or yellow, they generally required a charge-up. Even when using the same rank once, there would be a decrease in vitality, but this killer star completely disregarded that. The bereaved immortal lofty slaughter's gloom dispersed, and two shadowy broad axes were revealed. This was Wild Dance of Demons and Gods. Bang! A violent explosion and demonic crying. The Yin Room Black Panther was sent flying by a single slash. EI. 3. Mu Duiying was stunned. Seeing the axe head near her stomach, she suddenly retreated several steps. Her body was still in midair when she slowed, loudly shouted and spat out a smokescreen. Then frost moon ruinous light slashed out several rays of moonlight. What reacted to Mu Duiying was Li Longkui's azure-like murderous eyes. She raised one hand, and the black saber light immediately changed shape into a cage that pounced towards Mu Duiying. Under the wild dance of demons and gods, Li Longkui's double axes attacked unpredictably, with no signs to follow. Acting as the fiend star both in name and reality of the 108, how could an assassin like the guardian star block her? Never mind her, even many of the heavenly star martial generals could only slightly withdraw. Rip. Slice. Another rip. Another slice. The bereaved immortal lofty slaughter wildly danced, the evil winds like blades, repeatedly attacking again and again without end. After a dozen wounds deep enough to show bone appeared on her body, Mu Duiying shouted and used, flickering light passing shadow, to penetrate through Li Longkui's wild dance of demons and gods. A Fang's ferocious appearance also manifested as she brandished her double sabers to attack Li Longkui. Do not be too naive, little sister. Li Longkui made a bloody grin, raising her left hand's axe. The axe's demonic wind broke flickering light passing shadow's sneak attack. Mu Duiying screamed, blood spattering in all directions. Her arm had nearly been entirely cut off. Then, Li Longkui stepped forward, for Mu Duiying was wide open. The double axes were about slash, and this definitely would instantly finish off Mu Duiying. Just at this moment, the 12 Langya's sword chi shot and finally repelled the wild dance of demons and gods that Li Longkui made. Just as Li Longkui was about to slash, a man tore out from the side. It was just this faintly discernible opportunity. Su Xing's hands pinched together, and the purple cloud true star became a large hand that grabbed while the purple mansion immortal thunder became a dragon claw that attacked. But this still was not enough to disperse the killer star's slaughter. Li Longkui's left axe waved, easily ripping apart Su Xing's two abilities. How could this sort of first-rate heavenly star martial general's star weapon be blocked? Immediately afterwards, the axe in Li Longkui's right hand still slashed downwards. Mu Duiying already opened her eyes wide as she awaited death, her heart even sighing. It was so fortunate that she could experience pleasure once before dying. Clang clang. The heavy sound of weapons clashing pulled Mu Duiying back to reality. The moment she saw, she very much had the urge to rush over, hug and give him a big kiss and cheer, for Su Xing was currently blocking in front of her. In his hand appeared an odd scarlet saber with 9 segments. The blade's dark red and evil winds were unexpectedly very harmonious compared with one another. Destined star weapon. Ordinary weapons basically could not block the black whirlwind's axe. Longkui blossomed with a sinister smile, and her hand added more strength. The bereaved immortal lofty slaughter sunk, nearly slashing into Su Xing's chest, and nether saber winds burst out from the axe incessantly, cutting Su Xing's whole body. Fortunately, he had the heavenly silkworm's silver snow armor protecting him, otherwise, before he was cut to death by the axe head, his body was about to be beaten black and blue by the imposing air. The blaze refining 9 hell's sabers 9 links jingled, the saber tip dark red. Su Xing's chi sunk into his dantian. With a thunderous shout, he raised the blaze refining 9 hell's saber, a harsh chi flame resonating with the blaze refining 9 hell's saber. Threads of flame entered the openings, and the links locked together. The blaze refining 9 hell's saber chopped back, a black flame of bizarre and unprecedented power rapidly converging into an irregular shape along the blaze refining 9 hell's saber's blade. The raging flames were violent to the point he practically could not control them, directly heading towards the killer star with just this slash. It was as if everything in the world had been enveloped by these flames. This was 9 consecutive hellfire demonic slash. Longkui's pupils contracted. 9 links of hellish will-o'-the-wisps thundered into an attack on Longkui, as if she was covered by a sea wave with no gaps to escape through. Did you kill her? Duiying warily waited. Quickly run. Su Xing's expression changed. The demon fire covering the sky was too late to run rampant. The black chi rays were just like those violently surging sea waves and unexpectedly dashed the will-o'-the-wisps into pieces. Its might unexpectedly had been suppressed, as if it had been extinguished with a bowl of cold water. Killer star Longkui hefted her double axes, striding forward like a demon. Her wheat-colored skin has burn marks from the demon fire, making her look even more violent. Duiying raised frost moon ruinous light and was actually going to attack. When Su Xing saw, he shouted, Duiying, you quickly leave evil smiting hall. This woman truly was suicidal. She was an earthly star assassin with sneak attacks that would not work, and she unexpectedly wanted to directly contend against Black Whirlwind Longkui. Even among the 108 generals, the Black Whirlwind was a fiend star in name and reality. Some heavenly stars would not necessarily dare provoke her. When you leave, this lady will leave. Duiying stubbornly twitched her lips. The guardian star at this time cast a glance at the calm gentle Qingci, her figure becoming an indistinct shadow. She might as well think of killing Longkui's star master to solve all their problems. The way of thinking was good, but Longkui swung the bereaved immortal lofty slaughter to cut at her. The gloom blossomed, and Longkui's body split off countless phantoms. The axe light screamed like a demon, the evil wind demonically howling. Duiying emerged from her invisibility, her double sabers intercepting each, barely blocking. This guardian star honestly was dedicated. She obviously knew she basically could not possibly be the killer star's opponent, yet she still was unwilling to concede defeat. Only because of a vague promise, Su Xing honestly was somewhat in admiration. Compared to the previously completely arrogant jade-armed craftsman Jin Qiongyu, Su Xing would rather sign a contract with her. The panther hissed. In-room Black Panther pounced towards Qingci. The stunning girl still wore that small smile that was the most moving in the mundane world, ignoring this. Bang! The Black Panther screeched, for a bereaved immortal lofty slaughter slashed away at it. Longkui was worthy of being called the Black Whirlwind. She had scuttled in front of Qingci in the blink of an eye, one kick sending the in-room Black Panther flying. The star beast that had just been contracted did not even have the chance to be nurtured and had been sent flying with a single kick. Duiying's heart hurt incomparably, shouting as she rushed forth. Su Xing inwardly shook his head, advancing on the attack behind her. Duiying, why are you so stubborn? Quickly leave, there is no need for you to die for me in this place. Mu Duiying rolled her eyes at Su Xing, her expression seemingly saying, "In your dreams, this lady would not die for you in the name of love at all." Li Longkui violently shouted, the double axes crisscrossed. The weapon's collision gave rise to a severe spark. The tyrannical power directly shook Mu Duiying back. The quiet Qingci all of a sudden changed expression. She saw 12 blue-green flying swords wrapped in a gale slash at her. Qingci's hand moved. The corners of her skirt fluttered, her hair danced, and the prostrate snake ruler changed shape into a dragon form that wrapped around her body, blocking the flying swords. Qingci's expression changed as she gazed at Su Xing. With practically no hesitation, Su Xing's foot suddenly stepped hard. The ground instantly broke apart, and the enormous opposite reaction spread smoke and dust everywhere. In the cloud of dust, a figure speedily flit by. A shout. Hearing Mu Duiying's shout beside his ear, Su Xing changed direction to rush in front of Li Longkui. The tall woman was just like an iron tower, her face hanging a cold, murderous feeling. Su Xing's body leaned, his wrist flipped, and then the intertwined branch sword stabbed with all his strength. The short sword's edge was wrapped in a revolving gale. It appeared unexpectedly with a twisting tornado. The whistling of air ripping apart made them unable to help but cover their ears, and this attack of Su Xing's used much of his strength. The intertwined branch sword was the divine sword of the 1,000 years contract. Its sharpness was obvious, and it was divine sword among Su Xing's small number of weapons other than his flying swords that could contend against a star weapon. Li Longkui's expression was very disdainful. Her body floated, and she instantly retreated several zhang unexpectedly, as if she completely could not bear the space's restrictions as she showed an odd air. Su Xing's lone sword only futilely pierced empty air. Afterwards, Killer Star Li Kui then seized the chance to pounce forth, her double axes slashing. Behind her came slight movement. Mu Duiying suddenly emerged from behind her with a dark attack. Due to one arm nearly being severed, only one saber crisscrossed over Li Longkui's body, but the woman appeared to be like a puppet, not feeling this in the least. Whirling around even faster than lightning, one axe nearly erased Mu Duiying's neck as it brushed by, scaring the girl into a cold sweat. But when the second axe approached, Mu Duiying completely was without the chance to run away. Again, there was the sound of clanging. Su Xing. The bereaved immortal lofty slaughter cut onto the heavenly silkworm's silver snow armor. The axeblade's power seemingly wanted to shatter his internal organs. With a bang, this high-quality defensive astral treasure shattered into pieces. Li Longkui showed a surprised expression, not expecting that a star master would offer his life for a star general. But as for this incapable of moving killer star's slaughter, Li Longkui violently shouted, even more frenzied. "Hey!" Su Xing then swept across, but Li Longkui was just like a phantom. Although Su Xing this time determined her path, Li Longkui's speed was already incapable of being described with words. It seemed that apparently tall stature's speed was abnormally quick. Su Xing followed the figure and attacked before Li Longkui's eyes. The two people fully unfolded a war of offense attack in the midst of extreme speed. The first to be incapable of persisting would fall. It was practically impossible to make out the figures of the two battling sides. There were only indistinct figures moving about in space. Explosive sound endlessly came out of the air. At all times, they could even see wind and shadows intertwined suddenly. Occasionally, there was a power mighty as heaven, and occasionally, they were awesome as demons. The entire mine was filled with dust and smoke. The wind pressure of the battle rolled up the gold and jade everywhere in the mine. Su Xing was incapable of persisting, and the 12 Lengia and 12 Heaven Tearing simultaneously assisted in battle. Green and gold light relieved the killer star's pressure. When Mu Duiying saw she already was incapable of helping Su Xing, and that she was also unable to kill the Qingci protected by a purple star astral treasure, her heart was sullen to death. At this time, she saw the situation of Tang Lianxin and Jin Qiongyu. The two girls were currently fighting over Great Sun Essence Flame Butterfly, each of their star weapons attack back and forth, basically too busy to distract. Mu Duiying dragged her heavy body and sunk into the night. Elder sister, why will you not follow elder brother? Why would your servant want to follow a man? Humph, you even just fought over your servant's star beast just now. Truly, you are dreaming. Elder sister only needs to interact with elder brother for a long time, and then you will not regret it. Tang Lianxin at this time still was thinking of convince Jin Qiongyu. Jin Qiongyu was impatient. Stop speaking nonsense. Your servant gave him a chance, and since he was unwilling to give up on you, then it is you die and I live. Why must you be like this? Tang Lianxin was disappointed and frustrated. People walking different paths cannot make plans together. Jin Qiongyu shouted, the dragon carving phoenix engraving hammer and nail slamming together with wind and thunder. Your servant will not help a star master slaughter my own sisters. Tang Lianxin was stunned and exclaimed. Ah! A line of blood suddenly splashed out from Jin Qionyu's neck. The girl screamed, and her body became a phantom that dispersed, then dodging. Cut! The Mu Duiying that could not dispatch Jin Qiongyu in a single strike cut again. What is there still for elder sister to discuss with her? Su Xing and Li Kuei are fighting. Mu Duiying shouted. Tang Lianxin spun around and immediately raised the evil smiting writ. Asking for death. Li Longkui saw that a star master unexpectedly wanted to contend directly against her, and she immediately sneered. Su Xing naturally knew this star general was abnormal. Even a supervoid cultivator did not dare let her get close. However, Su Xing had Lin Chang's battle doctrine, in addition to a long time spent steeling himself for battle against a star general. To delay several dozen seconds for Tang Lianxin was not out of the question. 20 flying swords formed a sword array, interlocking with each other. Li Longkui was impatient, the bereaved immortal lofty slaughter slashing out thousands of black lights that shook apart the flying sword formation, and then she dodged and slashed. Su Xing's right hand was encircled with purple clouds, the true star purple cloud concentrating. He suddenly slapped, and Li Longkui was too late to defend. The purple cloud apparently engraved her skin, the power like wildly flowing current, a bursting purple chi that seemed to flow backwards, very swiftly. The average cultivator would be seriously hurt if not killed should they be struck by Su Xing's slap. But this Li Longkui basically seemed unharmed, the double axes swinging towards Su Xing's neck. Hey! Su Xing shouted. His star energy at this instant suddenly was like a demon that had been released from its cage, roaring and baring its fangs. Li Longkui's expression shivered, and suddenly, purple light exploded. The killer star's black whirlwind shattered into fragments that filled the skies and turned into a black night. Li Longkui retreated several steps, showing astonishment. Immediately, she was furious. The bereaved immortal lofty slaughter let out a ghostly howl. Just at this moment, a hairpin glinting with starlight flew at her, again beating Li Longkui into a retreat. Elder brother. Tang Lianxin nodded. When Su Xing saw that she had obtained the star beast Great Sun Essence Flame Butterfly, he delayed no longer. This kind of fiend star basically was not someone he could confront. Leave. Su Xing finally profoundly glanced at that magnificent beauty, Qingci. Immediately, his figure dispersed along with Tang Lianxin's, both of them leaving evil smiting hall. Bye-bye. The moment Mu Duiying saw this, she and the Yin Room Black Panther also left. The Li Longkui that slashed wildly at empty air was somewhat resentful. Seeing Jin Qiongyu, she raised a cruel killing intent. Longkui. Qingci called out at this moment. Li Longkui sobered up from her frenzy. She retracted the bereaved immortal lofty slaughter, coldly walking to Qingci's side. Qingci was still pensive about the matter just a moment ago. Tang Lianxin's master honestly gave her a big surprise. She had never thought an ordinary star master could contend against Black Whirlwind Li Longkui without being quickly dispatched. Only those that had inherited a star general's combat innate skill were capable of doing this, and in the 108, there were only a few little sisters that had this type of innate skill. The most formidable drill master whose fame was unsurpassed was Lin Chang's battle doctrine. That was generally recognized as an innate skill that would allow one to someday fight on an equal level with star generals. Qingci thought to herself, abruptly recalling that palm strike Su Xing used that filled the skies with purple thunder. This purple thunder was somewhat famous. Could it be he was the purple thunder monster? Qingci was stunned by her own thoughts. Connecting it to Tang Lianxin, that legendary purple thunder monster indeed had many sisters following him. Ascend Maiden Mountain to end the cycle of the star duels. A mysterious smile flit across the corner of Qingci's mouth. People walking different paths could not necessarily not make plans together. What are you doing? An abrupt shout interrupted Qingci's thoughts. Raising her head to look, she discovered Li Longkui was looking at Jin Qiongyu. Immediately, she stopped her. Little sister Qiongyu, you must be willing to sign a contract with your servant. Qingci sincerely took a step forward, slightly smiling. The jade-armed craftsman Jin Qiongyu sneered, do not address your servant as little sister. Your servant is not familiar with you star masters, your servant will not exert herself for you star masters, do not be deluded. It seems that although Maiden Mountain's 108 sisters fight each other, there is still a trace of sisterly camaraderie. Qingci sighed. Skillful star Jin Qiongyu wrinkled her brow. The Qingci in front of her was somewhat mysterious, however, she did not wish to speak anymore. Just as she was about to leave, she suddenly heard Qingci laugh. If little sister still wants to decline like this, your servant has no choice. Green light radiated. Liked it? Checkmate. Chai Ling was delighted. Smothering Wu Xinjie into a dead end on the chessboard, she finally won a match. Wu Xinjie smiled, Chai Ling, you have made progress very quickly. It was not that this palace's progress was quick, but that your mind was disturbed. The little whirlwind Chai Ling seemed to smile yet not. Ever since Su Xing and Tang Lianxin entered Evil Smiting Hall together, in the several days afterward she had still been fine, but as the days went by, Wu Xinjie was a bit ill at ease. Actually, not only her, but the other beauties inside the immortal's abode were also somewhat worried. Solitary star Tang Lianxin was only 88th. It was reasonable to say that her star beast would not be very strong, that its capture would use no more than a few days, but now 5 days had passed without seeing any sign of them. No wonder all of the girls would be anxious, yet Lin Yingmei was still cold as ice and frost, her expression showing absolute trust that made Shi Yuan and the others very admiring. Sister Xinjie, what did you and Big Brother speak about at the very end? Why did you not come out for such a long time? And Suan asked. Wu Xinjie then explained the divine mathematician Jiang Jing's divine calculation, gold, jade, and red everywhere. Can they actually encounter jade-armed craftsman Jin Daijian? Yan Yizhen wrinkled her brow. The divine mathematician's divine calculation should be correct. Probably, they will use some time. Wu Xinjie said. And Suan understood. If it was like this, spending several days would actually be worth it. If they had the jade craftsman's jade refining innate skill, they could greatly relieve the burden on Su Xing. After all, regardless of the way it was put, a single star master bearing the burden of upgrading the star weapons of 7-star generals was too outrageous. Come to think of it, it was thanks to the earthly skillful star that the previous Wu Song could advance to 9-star. Wu Xinjie directed her gaze to Wu Xiao. Wu Xiao's cool and elegant pupils concealed her inner feelings very well, your servant will not impose. Wu Xinjie smiled. Not that. If they truly encountered the earthly skillful star, perhaps we will have to trouble Xiao for you to help put in a word. Wu Xiao was silent for a long while, and then she nodded. This nod made noble star little whirlwind Chai Ling hang her mouth open in astonishment. Wu Song unexpectedly would help a star master. This Su Xing really was too sly. If Su Xing can sign a contract with the earthly skillful star in Evil Smiting Hall, that would be good. Shi Yuan currently was with Gongsun Huang teasing the Three Burrows crafty rabbit, speaking hopefully. How can it be so simple? Ever since the earthly skillful star was spurned by Liangshan continent, the successive generations of earthly skillful stars have been very disgusted by the idea of signing contracts and were unwilling to help star masters. Qingci is only thinking that if young lord could have the chance to strike up good relations like he did with the white stripe in the waves, that would be good. Wu Qingci faintly smiled. Chai Ling seemed to smile yet not. You have this much confidence that that man can do it? Wu Xingjia's smile truly was very confident. These sisters before her in the void immortal's abode were the evidence she was confident in. Chai Ling pondered and also softly laughed. That Su Xing indeed was unordinary. Come to think of it, which one of these star generals in front of her inside the immortal's abode was not difficult to sign a contract with? Did not even she herself ingest a together to hell with him? Little Huang, can you talk about why you would sign a kiss contract with Su Xing? Shi Yuan looked at the little Huang currently feeding the 3 burrows crafty rabbit, suddenly asking out of curiosity. All of the girls turned their gaze, curious. Among the sisters that Su Xing had signed a contract with, which of them did not pass through life and death, which of them was not passionate to the depths? It was just that they heard Wu Xiao once say the events that led to Gongsun Huang and Su Xing signing a contract were very simple. There was nothing poignant, there no world-shaking life or death, but after Su Xing returned, they kissed. Even if the two had only known each other for a few days, this honestly was somewhat dull as water. If there really was some matter, probably that would be the 2 times she helped at Grindstone Mountain and at Stone Tablet City. This time, Wu Xiao showed an interested expression as she looked at Gongsun Huang. After all, the lowly elder sister, in front of her was but the star general most powerful in magic energy. If she acted, Wu Xiao would be terrified. Gongsun Huang blinked, tilting her head to the side in thought. Little Huang felt His Highness Su Xing was decreed by fate. Gongsun Huang's answer made the girls taken aback. They had never expected that the Gongsun Huang, ordinarily more silent than Tang Lianxin, would say words like, decreed by fate. If you say it like that, this young lady also feels that Su Xing is very dear. Shi Yuan raised a hand in approval. Is this not to be expected? You are his women, naturally you would feel he is dear to you. Chai Ling was not surprised. Wu Xinjia asked, Chai Ling, then why did you ingest that thing with young lord? This palace already said before, that is because the noble star has never had one that obtained a star beast. Is it only because of a star beast, Chai Ling, that you would so delighted to kiss young lord? Wu Xinjia mocked. Kiss. Lin Yingmei and the other girls showed astonishment. Chai Ling's cheeks were slightly red, and she glared. If one knew him for a long time, he indeed is somewhat not too ordinary, almost like, muttering, Chai Ling's brow creased. There was once a feeling that he had crashed his way through their heart. Seeing all of the girls were at a loss, Chai Ling did not explain. She lowered her eyes, gazed at the chessboard and sank into self-contemplation. The void immortal's abode was absolutely silent. Originally, she did not feel this way. Passing through Gongsun Huang's reminder, only then did she feel that Su Xing being able to sign contracts really was not a random variable. Perhaps it truly was like Chao Gai said, that he had pried into a heavenly mystery. Can it be that young lord came from Maiden Mountain to rescue us sisters from the star duels? Shi Yuan faintly said. If it was before, knowledge star Wu Xinjie definitely would laugh aloud, but now, she actually did not have a retort. Even Chai Ling was pondering. If they thought carefully, they would feel a disbelief as if Su Xing seemingly had once entered through the depths of their hearts a very long time ago. And returning to our main topic, our lost memories, what are our pasts? Wu Xinjie pensively said, her voice just like it was coming from a distant world, faint and indeterminate. No one could answer, and everyone was still in contemplation. After a long while of silence passed, Lin Yingmei looked round at everyone, opening her mouth to interrupt this very still silence. Your servant wonders if young master has encountered the earthly skillful star now? That divine mathematician's divine calculation sounds not too good. It will be fine. The earthly skillful star is not a threat at all. Wu Xinjie still consoled them. Not long after, the space broke open. Su Xing and Tang Lianxin appeared. Young master, young lord, big brother, your highness, master, the beauties practically called out at the same time. Su Xing was taken aback, made somewhat unable to react by this scene. He laughed. What's the matter with you girls? It seems there's something on your mind. The sisters were thinking of young lord just now. Wu Xinjie ambiguously winked. Su Xing scratched his hair, forcing a laugh. Has elder sister Tang Lianxin's star beast been obtained? You used so much time. Shi Yuan said. Tang Lianxin beckoned with her hand. A golden flame-like burning dreamy butterfly spread its wings and flew out. This butterfly flew a circle around the immortal's abode, and then it immediately attached itself to Tang Lianxin's back, seemingly combining into one with Tang Lianxin. Tang Lianxin's back thus grew butterfly wings of golden light. Her entire body was enveloped within the light of the sun, making the gold coin-spotted leopard appear very dignified. All of the girls showed expressions of amazement. This must be little sister Tang Lianxin's supreme grade star beast, the great sun essence flame butterfly. And Suan smiled. Tang Lianxin nodded. Although it's very cool, this young lady will still love my little Qi very dearly. Shi Yuan stroked the 3 burrows crafty rabbit's fur, tenderly kissing it. Little Qi. Su Xing was stunned. Yes, this is the name I gave the 3 burrows crafty rabbit. Since the white stripe in the waves Zhang Yuqi assisted, this young lady calls her rabbit Little Qi. Shi Yuan chuckled. Clearly, she was still somewhat brooding over the fact that that sort of thing she did with Su Xing was exposed live in front of her. Young master, your vitality is not too good. Lin Yingmei walked over, her brow wrinkled. A grave expression also flashed across Yan Yizhen's face. Master, what did you encounter inside? Once the happiness passed, they noticed Su Xing's face was pale. Upon closer inspection, his energy was spent, his star energy greatly exhausted. Nothing at all, I only ran into the earthly skillful star. Su Xing gave them a comforting smile. Wu Xinjie said in astonishment, the earthly skillful star. Young lord, you actually encountered her. And, when we searching for the hint you gave, Xinjie, we encountered the earthly skillful star Jin Qiongyu who was also seeking the great sun essence flame butterfly. Then, seeing there were a few expectant expressions, Su Xing bitterly smiled. Not only did elder brother and I encounter Jin Deijian, we even encountered Qingci, who also thought of signing a contract with her. Tang Lianxin said. Qingci. I'll talk. Su Xing then summarized the events that occurred. Hearing that Qingci possessed a birth treasure outline, contracted the black whirlwind Longkui and was even full of self-confidence in contracting Jin Qiongyu, even the most indifferent Wu Xiao narrowed her eyes, showing a slightly ruminating expression. She unexpectedly had a birth treasure outline. Truly unimaginable. The birth treasure outline altogether had 4 copies in the 4 territories. Besides the most mysterious white tiger territory of no interest to anyone, there were 3. Su Xing obtained the Azure Dragon Territory's birth treasure outline, the Vermilion Bird Territories was stolen by Wang Dinglu, and they never heard that the Black Turtle Territories had been seized by any Qingci. If this was the case, the most likely possibility was only that she came from the White Tiger Territory or that she obtained it from Wang Dinglu. If it was taken from Wang Dinglu, that would have been fine, but it was the White Tiger Territory that Wu Xinjie felt was dangerous. That Qingci was somewhat strange. She wasn't like the average star master. Su Xing muttered. Young lord, what did you notice? Su Xing thought for a moment then shook his head. When he fought against Li Kuei, besides using an astral treasure to protect herself, Qingci always was very unusual. She had supercluster stage cultivation, yet she did not use a flying sword or any other abilities of a star master. He did not know if she was too arrogant and disdained to act or if she had some other plan. In brief, watching with folded arms was somewhat odd. If she had acted, Su Xing basically would have had no way to contend against the Black Whirlwind's ferocity. Next, Big Brother must first recover some strength. Go to Evil Smiting Hall tomorrow. And Suan said. Su Xing saw that he had been worn down to exhaustion by Li Kuei, and he nodded. He indeed had to recover his energy. Big Brother, Suan will go to your room and help you do a massage. And Suan's face was red. Then, thank you, little sister. Su Xing pulled her hand, greeting all of the girls. When they left the immortal's abode, the girls curiously stood in a circle to observe the star beast Great Sun Essence Flame Butterfly. Qingci, Qingci, Wu Xinjie muttered to herself, her brows tightly locked. If only things were not as Xinjie thinks, Evil Smiting Hall. Qingci stood on a green mountain looking into the boundless fantasy land of mountains. There was a flash of light. Wang Jingji appeared beside here. Has little sister Jade Armed Craftsman agreed? Qingci softly nodded. Oh, perfect. This is the perfect time for you to find the next sister. Wang Jingji laughed. Hua Rong and Lu Junyi have met with difficulties in capturing their star beasts. Elder sister, who shall we help? This is a golden opportunity bestowed by heaven to have them accompany us. It's a pity we can only go help one. Sister Qingci, choose who. Jingji will guess it should be Hua Rong, then. After all, Hua Rong will be somewhat easier to persuade, and her star beast is relatively easy. Qingci was lost in thought. At a high altitude, a fire-red scorching sun was suspended on high. The world in between was sunny and cloudless. On a faraway mountain, a sea of clouds rolled, a fog curled about, enshrouding it within a dense white mist. It was extremely odd, for within the rolling clouds, the mist was even thicker. A person practically could not see their hand in front of them inside the vast expanse of whiteness. There was a sudden surge inside that rolling sea of clouds. Gradually, bright and multicolored light shot out. An enormous hole was opened up in the clouds, and from inside the hole came the faint sound of something ethereal, making people hear and see clearly, and their minds turn happy. Particularly, when the large hole opened, a concentrated heaven and earth spirit chi scattered in all directions, cleaning out the entire center radius of a dozen li. A clear scenery revealed itself, one of green mountains and clear waters. Every kind of flower grew on the mountain, cranes flew and the wands called out. The immortal deer howled, the jade rabbit dashed. This was a fairyland on earth. However, this fairyland on earth with a range of 100 li was like a mirage, faintly distorting, giving people a sort of feeling of it being unreal. This is Evil Smiting Hall. Su Xing peered into the distance at that fairyland on earth, gasping in amazement. Having come to Liangshan for this long, seeing so many odd things, he thought he could have grown accustomed to it, but a pleasant surprise was always continuous. The scene before him could seemingly only appear in a dream world. And Suan walked up beside him, dressed in a simple and elegant blue skirt, her eyes showing some joy. This should be the Fairyland Spirit Platform. Fairyland Spirit Platform? Su Xing felt and Suan's star beast was very unordinary upon hearing this name, quite steeped in immortal chi. Could it be that Suan's star beast lives inside the Fairyland Spirit Platform? Some are so. And Suan nodded. Su Xing smiled. That actually was pretty good. A star general's star beasts were of many sorts and varieties. The evil smiting writ was decided generally according to the environment a star beast lived in and was not at all fixed. Although a star general could seek for a star beast based on characteristics, as far as the Su Xing presently racing against time was concerned, since coming to this fairyland, he actually did not save much time. The star beast Suan wanted to find in the fairyland was a sort of immortal elk named Good Fortune. 2. It was fond of living inside luxuriant jungles, and legend said that those who saw it could receive its fortune and become famous. Furthermore, acting as the efficacious star Suan's star beast, it could allow Suan's medicine refinement and treatments even more powerful. The fire beacon chariot flew to the limit of Fairyland Spirit Platform. Wherever their eyes swept, they spotted many spirit beasts roaming about inside the fairyland. Su Xing's heart itched as he watched. However, the deeper they went into the fairyland, the more lush it was. Bundled up tight, Su Xing could not see through it clearly. "Big brother, let us go down and search," and Suan said. Su Xing nodded. Suddenly, he heard a heaven-shaking bird cry. Turning his head to look, he was suddenly greatly startled. He only saw an enormous bird beast fly fiercely from behind. This hawk possessed 2 heads. The feathers over its whole body were like dragon scales, twinkling with golden light. Its 2 wings spread open, with a wingspan reaching 34 meters, soaring high. It opened its 2 talons, about to grab Su Xing. The fire beacon chariot immediately flew downwards. The hawk's talons snatched empty air, but this bird of prey was very experienced. Its other talon then extended. Su Xing saw this was bad, and the 12 Lengia flashed forth, linking together into a single massive sword to block. He felt a burst of blood bubble in his throat. This hawk beast's strength was extremely strong. 1 talon strike was somewhat unbearable for the life-cast flying swords. Su Xing instantly made the fire beacon chariot descend into the forest. The hawk's cries filled the vast sky. Lengia was struck and dispersed. He felt a cold wind blow behind him, as if it could get close to him at any time. The wind was like a blade, scratching over his whole body and turning it cold. Su Xing descended into the forest, yet the double-headed bird did not let them go. Its 2 sharp talons slashed inside wildly. The ancient trees reaching the firmaments were pulled out by the roots, and every sort of rare beast inside the forest scattered in fright. The fairyland forest was a wild mess. And Suan turned her head, delicately gestured with her finger, and she released the child and mother-linked heart's needles. Silver light jumped about, the 5 needles simultaneously launched. The double-headed hawk could not put up a defense and was stuck in its talons by the needles. This fierce beast angrily cried, pressed with its claw and nearly grabbed hold of the fire beacon chariot. And Suan again used the child and mother-linked heart's needles. Let alone that the might of the child and mother-linked hearts was weak, the place that the efficacious star's attack landed was on an acupuncture point of weakness. When the needle stuck in, even the double-headed hawk would be exceptionally pained. Several blinks of the eye later, the double-headed bird stopped. It soared high, turned around and flew out of the forest. Feeling that the fire beacon chariot was somewhat not too convenient, Su Xing simply controlled Lengia. The flying speed of the life-cast flying sword simply could not be compared. The double-headed hawk seems to have left. And Suan turned her head about and did not see the double-headed bird. It didn't leave. Su Xing cast a glance. Through the small gaps in the foliage, he could see there was a giant creature of golden light quietly flapping its wings high in the sky. Its 2 heads and 4 eyes stared at Su Xing. This sort of feeling of being stared at was very familiar, rousing Su Xing's pilot's instincts. He had been locked onto. "Suan, hold on to me tightly," Su Xing immediately said. When Suan heard Su Xing's grave tone, she quickly wrapped her arms around Su Xing's waist and stuck her graceful body tightly against his. At this time, Su Xing completely did not have the mind to enjoy this sort of luck with women. His hand struck a hand seal, and the Lengia's immortal light rippled. The hawk cried. An air-breaking whistle. The double-headed bird suddenly became aggressive, an unstoppable hurricane as it plunged into the forest. Transient, it fell into the forest. And Suan saw a golden light press down from above, and the forest around her had been uprooted by the powerful whirlwind. The golden rays of light passed by her line of sight. Before the child and mother-linked heart's needles could launch an attack, they were blown away by the gale. A heaven-concealing bird claw grabbed from above, about to grab the 2. And Suan raised one hand to prepare another counterattack. "Just hold on tight to me," Su Xing seriously said. And Suan hugged Su Xing tightly. The double-headed bird's hunting speed this time honestly was too quick. Its bird talons instantly were about to grab them both. At that last possible second, Su Xing's body slightly swayed, brushing past the smallest gap between the talons to fly out. The double-headed bird was worthy of being called a spirit beast. Its other talon then followed up with another grab, completely without any chance to block it. If it was an ordinary star cultivator, successive claws certainly was inescapable misfortune, but Su Xing had foreseen this. All of a sudden, he came to an abrupt stop, luckily missing the sharp talon's grab. When the other hawk talon grabbed from behind, the flying sword made a 90-degree turn upwards, passing right between the twin heads of the double-headed hawk. The double-headed bird raised its wings. Possessing two heads, its reactions were exceptionally quick. The talons were dazzling and covered everything, but Su Xing urged on that serene light of the flying sword like a leaf in the middle of the ocean. Undoubtedly, it looked as if he would be overturned at any moment, yet he braved the waves. And Suan's eyes blurred, but everything about Su Xing's flying sword control manner that was as easy as if he was lifting weights brought amazement. The flying sword beneath their feet was controlled like an arm, even more nimble than walking. Every sort of complex, high-difficulty flying sword maneuver was unprecedented to Suan, bringing her a sort of completely new experience. Seeing that excited smile on the corner of Su Xing's mouth, Suan's heart welled up with a warm feeling. He flew loops around the double-headed bird's surroundings. Su Xing's 10 fingers flicked, continuously shooting out purple thunder and purple qi. This was the first time in its life that the double-headed bird had been toyed around with by its prey. It angrily cried, and its two bird heads at this time seemed to appear to diverge. Suddenly, each cried. One wanted to go left, the other wanted to go right. The result was that its advance bogged down. Su Xing seized this chance to break away from the double-headed bird. Su Xing descended towards the sea's surface. He stored the flying swords, and his two arms hugged Suan. Suan softly sighed, both her arms wrapping around Su Xing's neck. She sweetly said, "Big brother, you truly are reckless. It's been so long since I've had this feeling of piloting a dogfighter." 3. Su Xing laughed. "What is a dogfighter?" Suan blinked her eyes. "Is it a kind of spirit beast? A kind of mechanical puppet that can fly?" "Big brother, your flying movements just now were very strange." Suan had never heard of a dogfighter. Su Xing's riding sword flight at first gave Suan a profound impression. Moving up and down, 360-degree turns, straight reverse and other maneuvers honestly were a world apart from Liangshan continent's mainstream riding sword flight. Although many star cultivators could execute every sort of difficult riding sword maneuver, no one could do this as perfectly as Su Xing could. What most made Suan pay attention was that at the same time her big brother was on his riding sword, his other life-cast flying swords still could hover nearby on standby. Not only did this not disturb his flying sword maneuvers, on the contrary, there were times they would even execute fatal attacks. He practically seemed brilliant. Otherwise, no one would believe they were able to break away from the double-headed golden hawk by just relying on flying swords. How could the efficacious star know that Su Xing treated riding sword flight the same as operating a fighter craft, and the other flying swords were treated as missiles? As far as these simple maneuvers were concerned, they naturally posed him no difficulty. It was a pity that although Su Xing could control a flying sword like a jet, he was only limited to confronting this sort of demon beast that had inadequate ability. Was that the striking hawk's 5-star beast just now? Su Xing was astonished. This double-headed hawk is honestly fierce. What if we encounter the striking hawk soon? The previous 2 times, he had each encountered damaged star White Stripe in the waves Zhang Yuqi, guard star Little Restrained Mu Duiying, skillful star Jade armed craftsman Jin Xiongyu and black whirlwind Li Kuei. This evil smiting hall was worthy of being called the place where star generals became complete. At any time, they could encounter a star maiden, and Su Xing was curious what star general he would encounter next. Suan shook her head. The star beasts inside the fairyland are all very powerful, especially this kind of flying star beast where if she does not have a star master, to capture it would be extremely difficult. Su Xing held the same feelings. Never mind, let's go find your good fortune, little sister. Su Xing looked around in all directions at the azure sea. At the end of this ocean was another hazy fairyland in immortal Qi, with strange trees, galaxies flowing about, red-crowned cranes flying back and forth, auspicious clouds and lights all faintly visible. Big brother, set Suwen down, you will get tired. And Suwen tenderly said. Suwen, your body is very soft, no weight at all. Su Xing used, wandering the clear skies, to fly over the sea, so as to avoid startling the other flying star beasts inside the fairyland. His tone was gentle and warm, let big brother hug you. When Suwen heard Su Xing's words, red clouds flew across her fair cheeks. She nodded, allowing Su Xing to embrace her. As far as Suwen was concerned, the last time Su Xing carried her like this was all the way back when they passed through Grindstone Mountain's mechanism, but at that time, their relationship was still separated with a paper-thin layer. And Suwen was only slightly embarrassed. Now, at this time and place, the efficacious star's heart nevertheless flourished with a springwater sweetness. She liked this, yet she was also somewhat nervous. And Suwen's arms wrapped even tighter, and she buried her head into Su Xing's chest, silent. Multicolored light illuminated the sky, spraying down a red cloud. A Luan bird unfolded its wings in midair, its whole body covered in glittering and transparent feathers. Its plumage was like burning fire, and its blade-like wings seemingly ripped apart the sky. Its beautiful as muslin body was seemingly a star embedded in the sky, the bird's crest graceful. The Luan bird let out a graceful birdsong. A sharp arrow shot up through the sky, skyrocketing, carrying a sky-shattering power. The red Luan bird spat out a ray of scarlet light. Its wings flapped, producing a burning wind, fiercely colliding head-on. The arrow exploded midway, scattering the flames into fireworks. Before it had cooled, the red Luan's crest once again sent out a ray of light. This red Luan was known as the Heavenly Hero Red Luan. 2. Inside the fairyland, that was one of the very best of the Luans, phoenixes and such. Few people dared to provoke it, but now, an extraordinarily heroic girl nevertheless dared to anger her. That girl had long hair flowing like water. She was dressed in a graceful milk-white long skirt and leather armor. Her body's beauty was like a swallow, her skill and vigor mixing around the heavenly hero Red Luan through every sort of obstacle. Occasionally, she lifted her head, her expression exceptionally arrogant and cool. She was the hero star little Li Guang Hua Rong. Taking several steps, Hua Wanyue used a large tree as a stepping stool, leaping high. The heaven-earth-sun-moon bow had been pulled into a full moon. A light arrow concentrated, the bowstring snapped, and the arrow was launched. It pierced into the heavenly hero Red Luan bird's body. Sparks filled the whole sky and scattered through the world. The Red Luan was infuriated. Its wings rose, and this time was even more excessive. Several thousand rays of red light soared from the heavenly hero Red Luan's wings, just like a blossoming firework. It fell down, and an enormous halo appeared at the same time around Hua Wanyue's body. Hua Wanyue slowed in midair, somersaulted, then thanks to her super-powerful reaction, weaved through the fireworks filling the sky. Danced through the willows. Hua Wanyue soared, this time not waiting to descend, directly drawing the bow and loosing arrows in midair. The arrow became willow padding that filled the skies and counterattacked the Red Luan's smoke and fire head-on. The two gorgeous colors of scarlet and blue exploded in midair. But Hua Wanyue had far underestimated the level of threat the heavenly hero Red Luan bird posed. The Red Luan's glittering red light rays blinded her. It swooped down, a streak of raging flames cut out against the sky dropped directly towards Hua Wanyue. It passed in the blink of an eye. There completely was no warning at all. Hua Wanyue shot 2 arrows in succession yet could not stop the heavenly hero Red Luan's charge. The hero star rolled backwards. The heaven-earth-sun-moon bow disappeared, her wrist shook, and a translucent ruby short spear appeared that swept. Hua Wanyue had been called Maiden Mountain's arrow spear double absolute. 3. Besides her outstanding bow and arrow skills, her close combat short spear fighting was also distinguished. Retreating backwards, the short spear unloaded the heavenly hero Red Luan's might. During a lean, there was an ear-piercing whoosh in the air. A vigorous figure already appeared above the heavenly hero Red Luan. This silhouette flipped and descended. The spear was translucent as blood, slashed from up to down, fiercely stabbing. Dark rank spear technique. Blood dance. Bang! A frightening power abruptly erupted. The short spear's blood light instantly seemed to be imbued into the Red Luan. Light and darkness circulated. In the end, Hua Wanyue was not a true star general, and her dark rank spear technique was far from comparison to her arrow arts. The heavenly hero Red Luan's wings flapped, and a smack sent her flying. Hua Wanyue panted, her line of sight fuzzy, her consciousness somewhat unclear. A crimson light rose. Hua Wanyue instinctively withdrew. The heavenly hero Red Luan bird did not end its pursuit to kill her, its killing intent endlessly flitting by. Hero star little Li Guang Hua Rong appeared very feeble. Escape was basically uncertain, and instantly, she was forced before a waterfall. The Red Luan bird raised its wings, uttered a fully derisive bird cry, and its red chi poured directly down from its wings in torrents. Hua Wanyue put up a defensive formation. A chain-like light exploded, the numerous red lights sealing every inch of space around her without warning at all. Gazing from afar, its unexpectedly was an enormous cage of red light. A powerful force burst forth. Under such terrifying power, even Hua Wanyue was unable to avoid receiving its effect. Her beautiful slightly went rigid, her face showed a slight paleness. The chain-like light suddenly already descended above her. A clear lakeside somewhere in the fairyland spirit platform, an immortal deer with its whole body emanating a hazy clear chi lowered its head to currently drink the immortal dew. This immortal deer appeared different from the rest. It possessed a slender body, skin with green leaf-like patterns and flower marks, as well as a spirit chi that made people amazed. When it lowered its head to drink, two azure pupils still were alert in scanning its surroundings. The two curved antlers above its head distributed a shocking beauty. A look would make people feel content in their hearts. This was the fortune spirit deer, 5, also known as good fortune, and Suan's star beast. The good fortune was currently cautiously drinking, and then a bolt of purple thunder suddenly flew out from within the forest, shooting towards it. This good fortune's reactions were extremely quick and nimble. Startled, that faintly discernible mist circulated like smoke around its whole body. The clouds rolled, and then it turned its head and bolted. An elegant youth blocked the good fortune's escape route, having calmly waited for a long time. Spotting the good fortune goaded towards him, he shouted, and the swordlight on 12 green flying swords formed a strong current, as if it was a fence that obstructed the fortune spirit deer's escape route. The good fortune once again turned its head. This time, it rushed into the brush to its side, clear light dragging out a gorgeous trail. Its speed suddenly accelerated, and its 4 hooves, 6, seemed to fly. A phantom figure instantly blended together with the forest, its presence completely disappearing. The youth did not pursue at all, and he only stored the swords, muttering to himself, if only Suan can succeed this time. The youth was Su Xing. Having searched in the fairyland for several days, they finally managed to find the good fortune. At first glance, this immortal deer was harmless. Su Xing had prepared for instant success, but how could he have foreseen this good fortune would be considerably hard to find and also hard to capture? It was not like other star beasts where he could forcibly subjugate it. He had to rely on the humane influence of a physician's healing touch to capture it. And Suan said any injuries would disappear, and previous efficacious stars also had ease in capturing star beasts, frequently associating with the good fortune. Showing meticulous care, in 3 months, she definitely could influence them. Su Xing had experience using force to capture star beasts, but to speak of this influence, Su Xing honestly was helpless. He could only prod it every time to rush before Suan. The rest was up to Suan. If they truly could not achieve it, they could only find another star beast as a replacement. And Suan wanted to influence the good fortune deer, and Su Xing could not easily appear personally. Crouching at the riverside, he tidied himself by looking at the reflection in the water. He lifted his head and saw that the time of day was late. He leisurely sat on a rock to take a short break, awaiting Suan's news. He lowered his head by the lakeside to take a few gulps of water. Just as Su Xing was about to leave, he rose and suddenly at this time heard an enormous bang. Glancing, a beautiful figure dropped from upstream, falling into the water and lifting a splash. Closely following was a giant wan bird flying over. The raging flames the bird summoned as it cried covered the lakewater. The girl trembled as she stood up, her hands drawing a bow, but her eyes were exceptionally stubborn and unwilling to concede defeat. Water rolled down along her forehead, making her appear quite disturbing. Hua Rong. Su Xing was astonished. He never expected to encounter hero star Little Li Guang in this place. This seemingly heroic goddess once used the 10,000 Li god-killing arrow to give Su Xing a very difficult to erase impression. One time, she killed Elder Immortal Extreme Clarity. Another time, she beat back Demon King Rock. Of these two, in which incident did she not have a problem? In Su Xing's perception, that little Li Guang Hua Rong apparently could not be stumped by anything. At this time, seeing her in such a mess and so weak yet still think of drawing her bow, when Su Xing spotted this, he did not hesitate at all to rush forward. Any way it was put, Hua Rong had helped him twice. Watching her die and not save her was not his style. The river water boiled, and the grasses dried up. The red luan bird used all of its strength in this attack. Red light sprayed down like arrows, the tips linked together. Creatures leapt away, and the fairyland that originally was supposed to be peaceful was now quaking. If this continued, Hua Rong would undoubtedly die. Hua Wanyue panted, her eyes somewhat unreconciled. Just at this moment, 12 oddly shaped flying swords appeared before her eyes. These swords emitted a powerful spiritual power. Green light hovered as they formed with a whoosh into a sword wall that blocked the bird's attack. Hua Wanyue's pupils contracted. Turning her head around to look, she saw a man standing in front of her, protecting her. Hua Wanyue's heart was greatly in disbelief. Why would a star master come protect her? There was no time to clearly think. Su Xing struck hand seals. Practically without thinking, Purple Cloud True Star simultaneously bubbled forth and became a defensive armor protecting his body. Then, he launched Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder. Purple light blinded their eyes, and a purple claw wildly danced, forming quite a spectacular purple thunder shield. At the same time, the completely unceremoniously rushing flying swords followed his pointing. The 12 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo Langia swords madly shot forth like a swarm of bees. In the blink of an eye, 2 dazzling green lights exploded in the air. 2 enormous green swords several zhang long appeared, their cold lights glistening. Su Xing's eyes flashed with an odd light. Silently opening his mouth, he blurted out an incantation for the flying swords. The giant swords glowed brighter in the air, falling one after the other as they softly cried, aggressively slashing at the red luan bird of scarlet light. Bang, bang, there were 2 enormous noises. The Langia swords violently struck against the red luan's scarlet light. Green light and red light interwove, encircling the red luan in a wild flurry. The red luan attacked with an infuriated cry, spraying out a bolt of scarlet light towards the feeble Hua Wanyue. Su Xing hugged Hua Wanyue and leapt to the side, evading the attack. If it was before, Hua Wanyue would definitely have killed this man that dared to get intimate with her, but now that she already was somewhat barely able to support herself, plainly knowing this man was embracing her, Hua Wanyue had no way to oppose. She basically did not have the strength to go argue. Originally, she had the conviction to go all out and persist, but following being saved by Su Xing, it seemed as if she had found safe harbor. That conviction instantly scattered like smoke. The heaven earth sun moon bow disappeared, and the hero star's sight went dark. She lost consciousness, and the last sight she remembered was of that man in front of her fighting with the red Luan. The heavenly hero red Luan bird went along with the hero star's loss of consciousness. It cried, spread its wings, and countless fireworks poured down from the heavens like a torrent. Su Xing inwardly cursed, and the 12 Lengia immediately formed a sword shield around his body. A sea of fire instantly descended. A dense bombardment pounded the entire area. The Fairyland spirit platform had been shaken violently by tremors, burning into a sea of flame. The red Luan bird suffered significant exhaustion battling the hero star. After spitting out this blaze, it raised its wings, cried, and flew straight into the clouds. The fiery figure instantly disappeared into the sky, not caring whether the target had lived or died. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.